Open up that mic. It is time. Captain's Cast is live. Why, hello. I am your host, Captain Garrett. Welcome to the Captain's Cast. I am Captain Garrett of the channel Swords and Starships. You know, I introduce myself that way because that is how Starfleet captains always introduce it. This is Captain Jean-Luc Picard of the Starship Enterprise United Federation of Planets. And so if you find that interesting, you're welcome here. Godzilla -1, if you haven't noticed, has been the headline of this stream for like 3 weeks now. That's for a couple of reasons. Number one, most importantly, it is the best film of the year. And number two, not all of you have seen it because of this maddening, staggered release. Our friends across the pond in Great Britain and Europe at large, I do believe, have had a chance to see it. But if you are in Australia, you still can't see it. And that is a crime. So we'll talk about Godzilla just showing everyone how it's done. Showing everyone how it's done. And, there is a new term. So now I have said many times on this channel that the word woke is winning. That is propaganda, bad storytelling is what I mean by that. This is a channel dedicated to good storytelling, storytelling that welcomes everyone of all different walks of life because stories are universal. Universal, folks. Storytelling moves people no matter what you do not need to be represented on screen. I was not represented on screen in Godzilla -1, and yet I was there. I was there in that cockpit with Shikishima. Shikishima, one of my favorite fictional characters of all time. I didn't need him to look like me to know that this is a character that speaks to me on an emotional level, and I'm with him on this journey, and it was the journey of a lifetime, folks, of a lifetime. So what? So this is not a partisan issue. This is, well, I mean, technically, it is partisan to choose a side. Well, I am choosing a side. I choose the side of good storytelling, and all are welcome here. Pull up a chair. But we do criticize wokeness on this channel because it is the death of good storytelling. But there is a new word out there that's even better, folks. That's even better. It's called cancel pigs. That's right, folks. There is a new term out there. It's called cancel pigs. And let me tell you something. The cancel pigs, they don't like it. That's right. That's what they sound like. Little cancel pigs. Little woke Eichmanns running around society telling everyone what they can and can't say, what they can and can't think, what kind of characters they can have, who they can cast in their movies and who they can't, which races are allowed to come to a party and which races aren't. That's who we're talking about. They're called cancel pigs, folks. And they squeal a lot when they are not winning. And let me tell you something, folks, they are not winning. So we're going to talk about that. And by the way, they're turning the guns on each other. There is some Doctor Who shenanigans going on. There's some Doctor Who woke and woke crime. There's some Disney woke and woke crime. So you want to get some popcorn and you want to have a little fun. What's that great line in Robin Hood Men in Tights when Prince John is saying, well, we're either going to have a wedding or a hanging. Either way, it's going to be a lot of fun, right? Which is just it's just super funny. Who we got in the chat? Well, Melodic Method, first in today. Melodic Method, hail, Captain. Why hail, Melodic Method? Good to see you. Good to see you. Fu Man Blue, how are you, my friend? How are you, Fu Man Blue? I'm glad you're here, Fu Man Blue. We got... that's the sound. This is the sound a cancel pig makes. Oink, oink. Ree, ree. You know, it's funny. It's their natural sound. It's their natural sound. And there's probably, probably if you had Grace Randolph, she'd be like, well, that's very offensive. It's very offensive and hurtful. And it's like, but did I not just see a trailer for a film titled The American Society of Magical This is not the actual title, but magical black people. It's basically what it is. And because this is YouTube and we're also live on Rumble, X, formerly Twitter, please hit like and subscribe. If you like the topic lineup today, what was I going to say? This is a learning process for me, folks. I'm getting better at this as I go. But in any case, the American Society of Magical blank, they mean black people, it is literally has a line in it that refers to white people as animals. Animals. Do we need any further proof that wokies have a really hard time understanding that they are the other side of the, shall we say, villains of World War II coin? They are two sides of the same coin and they can't even see it. It's like, because that's exactly what a certain, shall we say, German political movement, that's literally what they would do, is compare humans to animals, right? So while let's not clutch our pearls about the cancel pigs getting angry that they're being compared to animals, because, you know, frankly, they started it. So there you go. Cancel pig. We're going to talk about them. We're going to talk about all of them. Folks, we got them on the ropes. Guess where they're going next? The mat. That's where they're going next. The mat. So we got that to talk. We have Grizzy stuff. We have a Grizzy video. Grizzy with it. Now, this is an odd one. You know what's so funny is maybe this is just him doing like evergreen content, but it looks like the defenders of Obi-Wan Kenobi have resurfaced. I don't know. Maybe he's working through a backlog of videos, but either way, it's going to be great. So we got some trailers to react to. I saw a really fascinating one in the before Godzilla -1. And it's kind of random, but I'm going to play it because I just want to talk about this movie. It seems kind of interesting. The trailer was not on YouTube for like 2 weeks, which was super weird. So we got a lot of stuff. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. Captain's stalling a little bit while people come in. Fu Man Blue. Appreciate you, Fu Man Blue. Founding member of the Swords and Starships community. Fellowship, sorry. Dude, the deprogramming is. I do hate the word. I'm with Gary over at Nerdrotica. I hate the word community. I hate that word. It's, you know, they've taken all the words from us. They've taken all the words and turned them into something horrific. You know, they took the word inclusion and they turned it into something awful. I mean, what is up with that? So I have seen Godzilla a second time this week, which is frankly about 4 fewer than I should have. I just haven't had the time, but like I went to see it a second time and it was, you know, what's so funny is I'm watching it and it was like when I was a kid watching a movie, I'm like, oh, I know what part's coming next. I'm so excited for this next part. And that's like how I felt the entire movie. I'm getting more excited as the movie goes on because I'm like, oh, this next thing's going to happen. It's truly, it's just an amazing film. It's been a long time since I've seen a movie that was that moving for me. And it's, you know, we used to get like 1 or 2 of those a year, and now we get like one of those like every 2 years, I would say. Maybe every 3 years. It just kind of depends. So in any case, where should we go first? Because, well, the captain is of two minds on this. You know what? Rebel Moon. I have been super excited about this movie coming out, and I thought it was coming out this week, and I was going to review it on this stream, but then it turns out it's not. The reviews ain't looking good, folks. They ain't looking good. Let's just go there first, shall we? This is concerning. This is trouble ahead. Now, is this totally trustworthy? I'll just full disclosure. I'm excited. Ahoy, Tom. Tom is in the chat. Tom, you may assume your post in the fighting top, which is that is where we'll be. I said on a previous stream that the cross trees is where you'd want to be as a lookout, and you could, but really that would be the fighting tops. That'd be the fighting top. So anyhow, Tom is our designated lookout on the ship. What was I saying? Oh, yes, Rebel Moon. Rebel Moon. Share screen. So, look, it's not like I was pinning my hopes on Zack Snyder to make the most amazing original Rebel Moon, the most original science fiction space opera out there. However, if you don't know, the backstory to this is that Rebel Moon is basically a repurposed Star Wars script that Zack Snyder pitched to Disney that was rejected. Well, the fact that Disney rejected it, to me, is a good sign. Like, that's a good sign. It might have actually been a really good story that actually had some interesting non-woke bullshit in it, and they rejected it, which would make sense because the Force is female, and possibly, right? So that's one theory. And then Zack Snyder took this over to Netflix and he made it his own original universe. Well, folks, the early reviews are in now. There was a time when I would have trusted this number on the left here a lot more. These days, I tend to trust the audience score because the audience generally is just there to decide whether they like it or they don't. However, some of these reviews are concerning. Shall we go through a couple? Should we do top critics? Let's do top critics. Valerie Complex over there at the Deadline Hollywood Daily says, another Zack Snyder movie that deals with the same old issues, quality production values with scatterbrained, incoherent storytelling. I feel like a broken record. Broken wacko. A hugely expensive but uninspired Star Wars knockoff with some thrilling action sequences and some truly ugly moments that taint the entire thing. Rebel Moon often looks more like an animated pitch for a movie than an actual movie with human characters, urgent drama, emotional stakes, and so forth. Now, this one actually makes me sort of take notice right there, because this is honestly how I would describe most MCU movies. This is how I would describe currently, anyway. This is how I would describe most current MCU, current DCU, current just about anything in theaters right now. Is basically an animated. This would be the Marvels. This is the Marvels, an animated pitch for a movie that does not have human characters, urgent drama, or emotional stakes. So that's concerning to me because I wonder if we could do the trailer. But in any case, Snyder mistakes exposition for world building. This is a very snooty word, and I approve. The lugubriously delivered reams of backstory, removing the audience from the fantasy rather than immersing them in it. Well, that's a delicate balance. I feel this is one of the weaknesses of Tenet. Christopher Nolan's film had this problem. It's kind of amazing the amount of exposition that was in Godzilla -1 it was just below the threshold of like, this is too much. But it was always done in the context of the characters and what they're worried about. Like, how are we going to stop this thing? Is this a mission of certain death? Like, are we expected to die for the cause? Like, these are the kind of emotional stakes that are woven into the exposition in Godzilla -1, which is why this can work, but there's a fine balance. This one is concerning. It's a film populated by some of the Justice League Snyder Cut filmmakers' worst impulses, a mess of imagery, some of it attempting to shock, congregated largely around the idea of what might look good in a trailer. So there you go. Now, should we believe the our betters, the sophisticates, the learned pillars, scholars of official film critique? Well, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know whether these people are to be believed or not. I tend to doubt them. But this is not a good sign. How about the audience? Are there any audience reviews? Let's take a look at those. Just grab a smattering. Star Wars ripoff from the most overrated director ever. Rotten Tomatoes really needs to look at itself in the mirror by giving this a 26% approval rating while calling the god-awful Monarch Legacy of Monsters thrilling. Well, that's a fair point. That's a fair point. Zach never misses. Can't wait for part 2. That's a review bomb right there if I ever saw one. It seems like. Same director, same problems. Very good. Excellent start to the franchise. These are such useless reviews. This is because they make you put a comment in when you do your 5-star. This movie was everything I wanted it to be, from the visuals to the performances and the score. This film is just a small drop of water in a vast ocean. It leaves you wanting more of this fantastical new universe. Can't wait for the extended cut and its continuation in the spring. What did you like about it, Andrew? What did you like about it? See, these reviews are not very helpful. Not very helpful at all. Melodic Method says, it's been a while since I cared what critics think of a movie. I'm going to watch Rebel Moon when it comes out. 100%. I'm totally with you on that, Melodic. Believe me, this is not me shitting on this because I want to shit on it. It's actually quite the opposite. I had high hopes for this movie. I have less. I have more tempered expectations now. But my hope is that it's really good. Honestly, I loved Watchmen. I absolutely love that film. That's one of those films that I can rewatch over and over again. I don't know why. It's kind of a depressing movie, and I usually don't rewatch movies that are uber depressing. You know, like just for some of the scenes, I fired up Batman v Superman. It was so depressing, I didn't even want to watch the action scenes. I quit watching. I'm like, God, every time I do this, I remember why this is one of the worst films ever made, Batman v Superman. It's awful. It's a funeral dirge, that movie, but with no reason to be. So Zack Snyder is a hit or miss kind of guy. It's like sometimes his vision is amazing and sometimes it's not. I tend to think when he's adapting something that someone else did, that would be like Watchmen or 300, he does very well. But when he's kind of doing his own thing, then I think it's a swing and a miss quite often. So Man of Steel, I'm one of the few that defends Man of Steel, not because I think it's a great take on Superman exactly. But it had elements that I liked. It had elements I hated. I hated the way Jonathan Kent dies. I think that was terrible. I hated the insane destruction of Metropolis. I thought that was really bad. I liked Henry Cavill. I liked the more. I'll tell you what I liked about Man of Steel. I liked how humanizing it was for the character of Clark Kent. I liked all the scenes with like him and his parents and him kind of having to learn to be in the world. I liked the feeling of the weight of what he is on his shoulders. I thought that was a really good angle of it. But what it was missing was hope and joy. And it was missing the kind of fun, lively personality that Superman has. Instead, this was a very world-weary Superman. Now, if the second one had been a little more upbeat, he's come into his own, he's found his place in the world, and he's saving kitty cats from trees. Okay, great. But what they did is they released this just depressing Batman versus Superman, and it just brought the mood down. It's like there's one of the worst things in that movie, Batman v Superman, is when Batman says, you know, he's like, if there's even a one, he's pretty good. He's a good guy. He's a very good guy, I think. But if there's even a 1% chance that he's bad, well, he's got to die. And then he says to Alfred, I'm paraphrasing, of course. He says to Alfred, Alfred, this could be my legacy. I could kill Superman. It could be my legacy. I'm like, your legacy is murder? What? That's terrible. That's terrible for Batman. Like, his legacy is to beat Clark Kent to death with a kitchen sink, a bathroom sink. That's like one of the worst shots in the whole movie. He pulls a porcelain sink out of a wall and beats Clark Kent with it. Superman, of course, in that case. However, you know, he's definitely a mixed bag, but he has creative vision. That's what I will say for Zack Snyder. He has creative vision. Now, whether or not that vision is a dream or a nightmare depends on the movie and who you are. But worth a look. So there you go. let's take a look at a trailer. So I saw this trailer, and hopefully I don't get blocked. So we'll give this a shot. But I saw this trailer before Godzilla -1. And yeah, at first I'm kind of like, well, I mean, obviously, I'm like, what is this? But I just get very annoyed with trailers these days. I'm always thinking like, okay, what are you pushing? What are you trying to sell me? That's really how I feel with trailers now. It's like, oh, what fresh hell are you trying to sell me? But then this one kind of took a turn, and I'm like, okay, you have my attention.
Revolver's down here in mission control. Welcome to space. The Russians always knock 3 times.
I think it's just a superstition.
Listening to the wind of change. Wow. We have seen pictures, but this is...
We don't talk politics. Here we are.
This is literally the part of the trailer. I'm sitting in the theater. It says, "Oh, it's a sign of American and Russian collaboration or something." And I'm thinking, is this some kind of like Russia, Ukraine, Orange Man bad situation? Yeah, it's literally what I'm thinking. What are you trying to sell me, movie? Are you trying to sell me that we were bad people forever being friendly with Russians and how dangerous that was because you're supposed to hate Russia now? Or just whatever the stupid NPC download is, right? That's what I'm looking for. I'm like, okay, what's the NPC download patch update that you're trying to install on me, movie? But then it continued.
1.
What?
Hey, guys.
Wait a minute, what the hell is going on down there?
Oh, whoa.
We gotta get up now, guys. Let's get out.
Oh, my God.
Okay, film, you have my attention.
You so do you read.
War has broken out below. And we were told to take the I.S.S. by any means necessary.
If we got orders from our government to take control,
What do you suggest we do now?
the Russians got the same orders as us. And they just struck first.
Struck first. Mutually. We're evolved species.
Dude, that's pretty terrifying. That is a terrifying premise for a film. Like, there's so many, I heard it said recently, it might have been Chris Gore. I can't remember who said it, but it was one of the comic book guys. It was on Real BBC. They were pointing out that films don't ask questions anymore. They just dump exposition on, oh, big giant action scene. And this is what's happening. The Flash, he's catching babies in microwaves, whatever the stupid crap is. But they don't pose a question in the film. What I like about that trailer is it has my mind racing with questions because I'm like, wait a minute, even if they take control of the station, what are they going to do? That's like, there's nothing down there anymore. It's all nuked. Like, what's it? And also just the concept of like, what would that be like? It's a horrifying premise. And the visual impact of seeing just the world on fire was terrifying. And what's interesting about that too is it suggested to me something people often overlook when they think about nuclear war, because they think, oh yeah, the bombs hitting the cities, and that's terrible. And they think maybe, if I'm out in the boonies, maybe I'll be safe. But what they overlook is the fact that if you set off about 1,000 nuclear weapons, every single one of those weapons is going to start a massive firestorm that is going to spread for maybe hundreds of miles. Now, if you multiply that times all of those bombs, that's basically like the whole world is on fire. Like on fire. Forest fires, just it'd be like that's why it would create the nuclear winter, because you'd have so much smoke going into the atmosphere all over that it would be just like, yeah, anyway, I'm not trying to bring it. Look, we got to get our shit together as a species if we don't want this to happen, is my only point. But anyway, the film seems to be pretty dead on. Like, I was thinking just like how stupid the Marvel's creators are. You know, they're like, oh, we're going to take your atmosphere. We're going to suck this atmosphere out of your planet and put it on our planet. That's not how atmospheres work, you dolts. Like, it's nice to see a film that's like, oh, see that they've thought through like how this would work. So I'm kind of interested. Melodic says, yes, the Scorpions. And, I forgot we have, okay, yeah, that's the YouTube chat. And we have the Rumble open. So we have got Rumble and X, formerly Twitter. So check it. So what that trailer reminded me of something. I'm trying to remember what it reminded me of. My mind is going in too many places at once. Oh, that's right. It was the film Life with Ryan Reynolds, which is it's kind of one of these movies that like it never got much press. Nobody's really heard much about it. It's actually a really good movie. I saw it in the theater. It's kind of dopey. The concept is, if you haven't seen it, the concept is the International Space Station is receiving a delivery from Mars. A probe has brought back a sample from Mars that contains living alien tissue. And they reanimate this living tissue and it becomes this organism. And of course, naturally, it starts out as, oh, it's so beautiful. We found life on other planets. And then it starts, as one reviewer put it at the time, snacking on the crew. And then, so it's a really good kind of, it's almost like an Alien cover band. It's like an Alien movie cover band is what that movie is like, but a really good one. And this movie kind of reminds me of that. It's a perfect setting for a monster in the house or a dude with a problem story because it's as confined as the space gets. And what's so interesting about that is if you're fighting over the International Space Station and the whole world are basically nuking each other, what's the point? Like at that point, who cares who runs the International Space Station? But what's interesting about it is that that's actually not necessarily why they're fighting each other in the film. They're fighting each other in the film. They may both have the thought that like, well, regardless of what our governments want, it's pointless. There's no reason for us to like fight each other up here. This thing's pretty much, it's all one space station ain't going to change the outcome, right? Now, they may both be thinking that, but what they're also thinking is, however, the other guys have been ordered to take us out. And they might follow that order. So we have to take them out first. And so because both sides are thinking this, even though it's insane and it makes no sense to fight each other, they're still going to fight each other. That's a pretty good premise. That's a pretty good setup for a film. I think that could be a lot of fun. So there you go. What else? So I have a lot of trailers to react to. I have the Dune trailer. How much would I want to talk about Godzilla? Have you seen it, Melodic? Let me know. We might do some Godzilla. But what's really interesting about the Godzilla film is, so in the film, Melodic says, I have seen Godzilla. Excellent. Excellent. Then this is not a spoiler for you. So Shikishima's plane in the film, I thought this was possibly, I didn't know for sure, but I thought possibly that this was a fictional plane that he's flying in the movie. It's not. The Shinden was a real prototype plane that was developed at the end of the war. And it really did. It's exactly the plane that he flies in the movie. So I found this little article. It's like, there is so much to love about Godzilla -1. Like its predecessor, Shin Godzilla, and every Godzilla movie, the military is a big part of the unfolding drama. But things are a bit different is it Tamashi? I think it's Takashi Yamazaki's reimagined origin of Godzilla. So yeah, this is the real plane. I believe is on display in a museum. This thing was real. It was real. That's so awesome. See, this is how you know that the people that Yamazaki and the creatives that were behind this project, this is a film born out of passion. This is a film born out of love, because you just know that, like, this plane was part of his vision for this film right from the beginning. Which, frankly, is that's exactly how I think when I'm writing a historical. I can't wait to include, for example, in my novel Blood and Oak, I include a reference to this beautiful snow brig, right? Which is a type of two-masted ship, and I'm really excited to fold this into the story as the character's main ship later in the series. And it's like, when you have a passion, that's how you think about things. So I just thought that was super cool. That plane was real, folks. What'd you think of Godzilla, Melodic? What'd you think? Let me know. Enter anyone who wishes to share. Anyone who wishes to share. So let us change topics, however, to cancel pig news. That's right. The cancel pigs are very unhappy. They're very unhappy. So Doctor Who, as you may or may not know, unfortunately, is in a very sorry state. And now Doctor Who is being attacked by its own, Russell T Davies, right? He comes back, the darling of Doctor Who creation. He basically is the last best hope for a good restoration of Doctor Who, and he goes full-blown woke lunatic. He just goes full-blown crazy, turns every show into, just the message. But yet, that is still not enough to placate these wackos. You can't placate them. So this from The Verge, the new Doctor the new Doctor Who debut felt like a timey-wimey slap to the face. Russell T Davies' hearts are in the right place. Why is it plural here? Russell T Davies, that's one person, that's one individual, and then the plural hearts. Why? Does he have two? Russell T Davies' hearts are in the right place. But the introduction of Ncuti Gatwa's new Doctor Who was marked by a number of questionable decisions and racist tropes, as the internet would have it. Doctor Who executive producer Russell T Davies warned everyone that the 60th anniversary special episodes were going to introduce some interesting new twists to the mythology of the series, meant to set the stage for actor Ncuti Gatwa's debut as the Time Lord. Some of those changes, especially those specific to the Doctor's companions and nemesis, have been easy to understand, as Davies updating Doctor Who lore to better reflect modern sensibilities. But when it came to the arrival of the newest Doctor, the first leading incarnation of the character to be played by, breathe, a black queer man. Oh, thank God. That's so amazing. It's so stunning, so brave. Doctor Who's 60th anniversary is special. Absolutely fumbled the ball by forcing Gatwa to exist in another actor's shadow. Regeneration, the transformative process in which the Time Lord, like the Doctor, becomes new, drastically different versions of themselves, has always been a fascinating part of Doctor Who's mythology, and the BBC's convenient way of passing the mantle on from one actor to another. Though the Doctor usually recalls the events of their past lives, they've always been their own. Make sure not to miss. They are them now. They are they, them. The Doctor, they, them. Their own distinct people who have gone on to adventures with new companions. They couldn't just say like his or hers or he or she. No, they can't do that. They can't do that. The regular casting changes around all how the series has been able to run for 60 years. In the post-2005 Doctor Who revival under showrunners Davies, Stephen Moffat, and Chris Chibnall, also referred to on this channel as Chinball, regenerations have been momentous events that gave viewers a taste of what's to come while saying goodbye to the Doctor's previous phase. But ever since the 13th Doctor, Jodie Whittaker, regenerated into a new form, resembling the 10th Doctor, David Tennant, it's been clear that something unusual has been going on inside of the Doctor, something the giggle, the third and final of the 60th anniversary episodes, explores in detail. After finally getting things right with Donna Noble, Catherine Tate, in The Star Beast, and then spinning off with her on a nightmarish journey to the edge of the universe in Wild Blue Yonder, the 14th Doctor, Tennant, returns to Earth in The Giggle to do battle with an updated version of classic Doctor Who villain, the Toymaker, Neil Patrick Harris. In his original form, portrayed by Batman alum Michael Gow, the Toymaker was introduced as a game-obsessed being from unknown origins whose knack for defying the laws of physics and inventing deadly toys made him a unique threat to the universe. In The Giggle, the character returns to the small screen for the first time since his initial appearance with a maniacal plan to destroy the world by hiding a secret rage-inducing signal that's coded into every screen on the planet. Ahead of The Giggle airing, Davies spoke candidly about wanting to use Harris's turn as the Toymaker to address the context the character was originally introduced in and Doctor Who's history of depicting him as a distinctly Asian-coded white man. Here, the Toymaker is presented as an off-putting German man, ew, gross, who can't quite keep a grip on his multiple affected accent. And The Giggle spotlights the Toymaker's protean nature as a clever way of emphasizing just how disturbed the 14th Doctor has been by his inability to fully understand what's been going on with his own regeneration process. With The Giggle being a special episode in which the stakes have to be high, the Toymaker's plan for world conquest seems poised to work as he prepares to kill 14 by shooting him in front of Donna and fellow companion Mel Bush, Bonnie Langford, but rather than dying from being zapped through the chest with a massive laser, the 14th Doctor is left relatively unharmed, save for an odd feeling within himself. And when 14 asks Donna and Mel to pull both of his arms, his body begins to split in two, and he gives penis birth to another man wearing no pants.
I am in no hurry to leave this place. We can play Grandma's footsteps.
Hang on.
Tell me what the hell is going on here.
Where is it? Where is it?
Excuse me.
There it is.
Yo, man.
Not me. I think I'm really, really me. Oh, I am completely me.
My God, folks. You poor Doctor Who fans. Oh, my Who fans out there. You know what's so sad about this, too? If I may just interrupt the brilliant article here by The Verge for just a moment. As a non-Doctor Who watcher, all I have to see is like a clip of David Tennant, a clip of Neil Patrick Harris, and I feel myself slightly pulled in. Right? Because I find these actors, their performances magnetic. Actually, Ncuti Gatwa's not bad either, just in terms of a general performance. I'm not commenting at all on how he is as a doctor, because I wouldn't know. I'm just saying that, I can see that there is filmmaking skill involved in Doctor Who under Davies. There is absolutely filmmaking skill. There is no reason for this to be terrible, and yet it is. Resuming with, but what does The Verge think about this development? Well, according to the new 15th Doctor, Ncuti Gatwa, by generation, a Time Lord simultaneously regenerating into two separate selves, was supposed to have been a Gallifreyan myth. But by the way, I hear from Doctor Who fans, this is a total retcon. In other words, he underwent cellular mitosis. He split like a cell into two separate doctors. And basically what they've done is they've multiversed it. They have like MCU, DCU multiversed it. They basically said, oh, there's an infinite number of doctors. They can all be doctors. And this doctor could be totally unmoored from all the emotional baggage of all the other doctors. So in other words, there's no stakes. Nothing you watched in all the previous generations matters. The lore can be totally disregarded. We're doing our own thing now. Disney owns this, and it shows because it has been Disneyfied. It has been Disneyfied. The article goes on, but as 14 and 15 team up to beat the toy maker, the giggle makes obvious that this era of multiple contemporaneous doctors is here to stay. And while that's sure to be a delight to the legions of Doctor Who fans who've come to see Tennant as the quintessential doctor, it's impossible not to read the episode as having stolen a lot of Gatwa's thunder. You know what's amazing about this? Look at how dense these people are. Like, look at how stupid. This is why they always attribute to fans opinions we do not have. Opinions we do not have. Because let me say one thing for fandom here, right? So they're saying, oh, well, David Tennant gets to live over there somewhere in the canon off screen, and Ncuti Gatwa is here, and you can have both. And it's like, and they seem to think, and that makes fans happy. Right? That's what fans want, right? That's because they think fans are stupid people. They think fans are really dumb people. They're like, what they don't realize is Doctor Who diehard fans, at least the way I hear it, correct me if I'm wrong, if you're out there, but the way I hear it, they're very unhappy that the Doctor's companion, I think it's Donna, I think is the one, who had this amazing, beautiful conclusion to her story where, you know, she had to sacrifice her memory of the Doctor in order to live, and he had to give up his, you know, friendship with her in order to save her life, and that was the end of her story, and they just totally retconned that, and this idiot is going to say, oh, well, that should make fans happy, because now she's back. No! Because that undoes this beautiful story. It ruins the story. It removes all stakes and emotional tension. And here again, they're doing the same thing. They're saying that in all previous Doctor Who iterations, the Doctor had to essentially die and then be reborn. But the reborn Doctor, while he may have like the essence of the previous Doctors, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the memories possibly, I think he has the memories, right? But he has lost something. He is a different version. And it's essentially that other Doctor is gone, is lost forever. That's just the nature of the beast. That's a better story. And I would argue that the fans would agree that that's a more emotionally meaningful and impactful. This stupid plot development is a dumb plot device, totally worthy of Dibney, which basically allows you to have a new Doctor without having any of the stakes or the emotional payoff or any of the tragedy, the bittersweet nature of it. You dispense with all things emotional. This is the world the woke are building for us. A world where there are no stakes in stories. Nothing is at risk. You know, don't worry. All your favorite heroes and villains will live, no matter what. Hey, they could be stabbed with a lightsaber 3 times, and they'll be back, folks. Don't worry. If you like them, they're back. See, Stranger Things is already at risk of this because I think they're going to bring Eddie Munson back in Stranger Things 5, and that would be a huge mistake because it would completely undo the beautiful story that Eddie has in Stranger Things 4. Now, I am a fan, and I'm saying I like this character. I would love to have him back, but I want the story to be what the story needs to be, which is that he died bravely. That's his story. And that is what I would argue fans would want. And I'm going to check the chat real quick to make sure I haven't missed any important edification that I may require. Melodic says, I loved Godzilla. Well, I agree with you, Melodic. 10 out of 10 bars on the epaulets, 10 for Godzilla -1. My favorite film of the year. Instant classic. It's in my all-timers. And I have that's Wrangler, right? Frequency Studios over there on Rumble. That's you, Wrangler, right? There's an entire channel over here. Hop in this chat. Well, thanks, Wrangler. What really blows me away about Godzilla -1 is I'm watching it a second time, and I'm kind of thinking that even some of the slower parts that I figure I'll probably get bored of this, I'm not. I'm like, just the whole movie. I'm just so invested. I love that film. Anyway, we might get into it more. Melodic says Doctor Who species have more than one heart. They do? The Time Lords? Right, but that line in the article was referring to Davies, and Davies, as far as I know, he is no Time Lord, sir. He is no Time Lord. Hail and stuff, says Wrangler. Ahoy, Wrangler. Welcome aboard. Good to see you. And Wrangler says, when is the Doctor going to regenerate into an otherkin? That is a question for Melodic, Wrangler. Melodic is... Wait, Melodic, are you a Doctor Who? Are you a Whovian? That's Redoubt. I'm thinking of Redoubt Productions as our resident Whovian. Old Man Nixon is in the chat. Hail, Old Man Nixon. Good to see you. Wrangler says, I think they're mixing up Time Lords with Klingons. That could be. That could be. In any case, we return to the illustrious Verge. Let's see, where was I? Let's just skip to the next article, the next paragraph, shall we? When Gatwa was first announced as the actor who would be taking over the Doctor role following Whittaker's 3-series-long run, it felt like the BBC finally had the common sense to lean more into Doctor Who's core ideas about imagination, exploration, and discovery across time and space. Was anyone complaining about this? Like, was anyone's complaint about Doctor Who? Gee, they're not exploring. There's no imagination and discovery. I don't recall that ever being a complaint about Doctor Who pre-Jodie Whittaker. But I digress. No matter how vehemently Doctor Who fans might want to deny it, here it comes. Here it fucking comes. I don't even have to read this next line to know what's coming, folks. This is the same argument that has been deployed against us Trekkies, by the way. Star Trek has always been progressive. Star Trek has always been about transgender rights. You're just too stupid to know it, you bigot. No matter how vehemently Doctor Who fans might want to deny it, the fact that the Doctor, a shape-shifting alien from a planet full of brilliant time travelers, was almost exclusively portrayed by white men until 2017 was small-minded, racist, and sexist in equal measure. That was racist, that was sexist, and it was small-minded. You know, I read a headline that Anthony Mackie of Captain America, Falcon Captain America, not Steve Rogers is Captain America, okay. But in any case, Falcon actor Anthony Mackie was saying a couple of months ago that he felt there weren't enough black people in Lord of the Rings and we needed to see a black Frodo. And, you know, my honest to God, no bullshit reaction to that is go fucking make it, asshole. Fucking make it. I don't care. Like, you know, J.R.R. Tolkien made Lord of the Rings. Okay? J.R.R. Tolkien, an Englishman, and oh my God, he was white. Okay? He made a novel. The guy fought in World War I, by the way. Which war did you fight in, Anthony Mackie? Fuck off. Anyway, he wrote it. He wrote it to be an English mythology. And a mythology of the British Isles, perhaps in a broader sense, European, but generally an English mythology. That is what he made it to be. Now, if you think that sucks, you are perfectly welcome to go make as African a mythology film as you want to make. Nobody's stopping you. Nobody's stopping you. Nobody is stopping these woke assholes from making their own science fiction time traveler series with whoever they want to make it. You know, what is small-minded about that? This is the character. Anyway, here. Yeah. But that being said, you know, there is like, I honestly think, this is my honest to God opinion. There's nothing wrong necessarily. Let me rephrase that, because I don't want to speak out of turn, because having not been a Doctor Who fan, I don't want to presume to speak for the fan base. But this is what I will say. I believe it is possible that you could have had a female Doctor that the fans ultimately accepted and came to like. That being, if it had been the same standard of quality of stories, if it had not been filled with the message, and if it had not been about the fact that she is a woman. If it had just been about a female doctor being the doctor and she were charming, the actor were likable, they had great stories with her, and they did not lecture their audience every 5 minutes about how strong female women don't need no man. If they had just done that, they might have actually earned, the audience might have changed their mind. The best example I can think of, when Katie Sackhoff was announced as Starbuck in the reimagined Battlestar Galactica, fans, and this is before the really dark times, fans were pissed. They were like, you gender swapped Starbuck. Starbuck is a dude in the original Battlestar. But then you watch the show, and the show was not, I don't even think they ever brought up the fact that she was a female pilot. They never even brought it up in the entire series. It wasn't an issue because in that world, the military was integrated, both genders equally. It just wasn't an issue. So they never even referenced it. But also, Katie Sackhoff was brilliant. Her character was incredibly well written and nuanced. She was charming immediately, and she won the fans over. And I'm saying that while it may not be ideal, it's at least possible that a female doctor could have won. I guarantee you there is zero issue with a non-white doctor. I don't think that would ever have been an issue. The problem is they are making it an issue. The cancel pigs are making it an issue because they want it to be an issue. They want it to be an issue. That's because they're cancel pigs. That's what cancel pigs want. They have to feed. The trough has to be full. And the slop that the cancel pigs feed on is division and anger, hatred, and creating problems where none existed and need exist. The article goes on. Despite being late to the party, Whittaker's 13 and Joe Martin's Fugitive Doctor both demonstrated how Doctor Who could stay true to its narrative essence while allowing the Doctor themselves to better reflect, they just love using that pronoun, don't they? Better reflect the real world diversity of the fandom that love the character. Got with Run has that's why if they make a sequel to Godzilla -1 in order to reflect the diversity of the fandom, because I'm here, they're gonna have to cast at least an equal measure of Black people, Latino people, and white people in addition to the Japanese people in a historic period piece set in Japan. That is because that reflects the real world diversity. Got with Run has seemed poised to do the same, but everything about the way the giggle brings 15 into the picture, from the way he's standing in his underwear while 14 remains mostly clothed, to the implication that the two doctors will seemingly coexist, makes it seem as if Davies is trying to placate the contingent of fans who don't want to accept a queer Black actor, so stunning, so brave, playing the doctor role by keeping Tennant in the mix. Folks, this is unbelievable. Is this not the greatest thing ever? I mean, the cancel pigs, they're eating their own, folks. So what does Russell T. Davies do, right? Russell T. Davies, a brave, stunning, queer man, proud, unapologetic. He goes and makes the wokest freaking show. The doctor is literally, folks, literally being lectured about assuming the wrong pronouns of an alien. Jeez, I can't even get through this. I can't. He is literally being lectured about how a male presenting Time Lord will never understand, and how just all of it. And yet still, guess what Russell T. Davies still has to deal with from The Verge? The cancel pigs are on the case. It's like nothing is ever good enough. Russell T. Davies, you deserve the cancel pigs. You deserve everything they're serving you. Yeah, you truly do. It's the world you are building for us, and I welcome you to fucking live in it. Davies is a cancel pig, so fuck Davies. So in any case, yes, this is what the very woke Davies is hearing from the very woke. I wonder if he will reply to The Verge in a tweet, tough shit. Do you think Davies will do that? Do you think Davies will quote this line in a tweet and say tough shit to The Verge? I wonder. I'd love to see that. He might actually earn a modicum of respect from me if he did. Want to lay odds on that? Those fans vocalize their displeasure at the idea of a black doctor. Who did? Who did? Nobody did. Shut the fuck up, Verge. You're so full of crap. In the same way that people griped about the idea of a black Spider-Man, a black Captain America, or a black James Bond, or a white Black Panther. Wait, not that last one. They're the same people who've lost their minds at the sight of Black April O'Neil and can't wrap their minds around the concept of Castlevania Nocturne's black vampires. Listen, with all due respect, who is this writer? This would be Charlie Pulliam Moore. I thought this was a female. But, I'm not a biologist. I just kind of had the sense that this was, well, there you go. That's my own stereotyping. It's a soy boy. I was incorrect. I misgendered. This is a soy boy writing this article. Mr. Or they, them, Charles Pulliam Moore. Who the hell cares about Castlevania? Who the hell cares about Castlevania? Has anyone seen Castlevania Nocturne? No. Like, what are you even bringing that up for? So, but let us continue to benefit from the font of they them's wisdom. They're also the people that love Mace Windu, but hated it when Finn picked up a lightsaber and then promptly disappeared for much of the recent. Wait, what? So no, you're confusing. You're literally conflating people who like Finn with the fictional straw men that you think hate Finn. You're conflating the two because they're saying, oh, they hated it when Finn picked up a lightsaber and then promptly they hated it that he disappeared for. No, they hated it that he was interesting, the most interesting character, and they did nothing with his character. That's what they hated. So I'm just helping. I'm fact checking. Point is, these fans, they call us the gatekeepers, but look at the way that the language is framed in this, right? Everything the wokies do. No. Correction. Everything the cancel pigs do is designed to gatekeep. Have you noticed this? This is the most sick thing about the cancel pig movement. They invade an intellectual property they don't give a shit about and think is stupid. They think it's fans are stupid, and on top of that, bigots. They invade that space, take it over, and then they start gatekeeping the exact fandom whose property they have taken over. Isn't that incredible? He's gatekeeping. He's saying these fans do not belong in the fandom, in my opinion. These fans are an unfortunate fixture in many genre fandoms. And while some ask, what did we ever do to you people? What the fuck did we ever do to you? We nerds, we're just trying to get through high school. I'm the guy sitting alone at the lunch table reading Wheel of Time. What did I ever do to you, asshole? It's unbelievable. What did I ever? I'm the guy who's having incredibly intense arguments with other nerds about whether or not the Galaxy class could outrun Kirk's Enterprise A if it had a souped up warp core. Like, what did we ever do to you? The giggle is actually a comment on how dangerous their specific brand of rage can be. Yeah, we're the ones with rage. You people are angry all the time. Nothing ever makes you happy. When you get what you want, you got what you wanted. Doctor Who is black. They're lecturing about pronouns. That's not enough for you. It's like, you say we're the ones that are rageful? You're the enraged people. Oh God, I can't get through one sentence of this dribble. Decorum here. The whole situation with the bi-generation plays like Doctor Who, catering to the fandom's less enlightened desires. Oh, there's a hyperlink. Do I dare? Do I dare? Well, just for pure pity's sake. Oh no, it's a Twitter link. What is this? What's the problem with this? Okay, so it's a Twitter post that just says this is at Russell T. Davies. Do you realize what happened here? David Tennant is now the Doctor forever without any numbers, any ratings. He just is. And God, he deserves it more than anyone. Oh, hell, I still can't believe it. Is this praising it or criticizing it? I think it's praising it. And then this guy is saying, "Oh, RTD," quote tweeting it, saying, "Oh, RTD, what have you done?" I honestly don't even understand what his point is with that. I truly can't make any sense of it, but whatever. You can tell that Davies means for it to be poignant and touching in moments when 15 confronts 14 about his need to deal with his emotional baggage, or when the companions express their excitement at meeting a new doctor. But all of that goodwill is immediately squandered when you have characters who know better from firsthand experience asking whether the doctor comes in a variety of colors. The trappings and optics of the giggle also add an unfortunate kind of, oh, Jesus. Oh, my God, I can't believe this. You can never make these freaks happy. These wackos. You can never make them happy. The trappings and optics of the giggle also add an unfortunate kind of magical Negro quality to the 15's heart-to-heart talks with 14, which is a concept that seems like it might be lost on Doc. So can I just ask you a question, Verge? Can I just help a sick, evil white guy out? Would you please? When a black man is lecturing a white man about something, is it racist to think that's bad or racist to think that's good? I truly can't make heads or tails of it. If I think it's good, that means I believe in the magical Negro trope. But if I think it's bad, that means I'm a white supremacist. So which is it? The answer is it's a trap. It's a trap. That is the correct answer to the question. Nothing that the cancel pigs want, nothing that they claim, nothing that they argue for is consistent. Everything they argue for has an immediate reverse opposite contradiction somewhere else. They don't have a vision for anything. They are parasites in terms of their ideology. They're ideological parasites. They just want to suck the life out of culture. And when they have drained it of all of its life, they go looking for the next fandom that hasn't been polluted. I guarantee you, they're out there looking for a way in on South Korean, Japanese, and Indian cinema. They are on the way to taking those down as well. They will be there. So, pray for them. Pray for them. The two doctors defeat the Toymaker together, but the episode's real emotional climax comes as 15 explains himself as the product of emotional healing that 14 has not done. The concept of a time traveler doing rehab out of order certainly sounds cool on the page, but within the episode itself, it frames 15 less as his own person living for himself and more as a source of emotional support for 14, who ends up being inspired by 15's sage wisdom. Oh my God, what a bunch of CW girls. It's like I'm listening to people arguing about, freaking Dawson's Creek over here. What's most concerning, though, is the way the giggle, I almost said the Google, implies that the doctors will now coexist, seemingly as 14 joins a bunch of the older companions like Donna, Mel, and Kate Lethbridge Stewart, Gemma Redgrave, as part of a new spin-off project revolving around Unit, Doctor Who's answer to Marvel's Shield Sword Saber. Question for you. Do you think it's wise right now to be looking for an answer to Marvels? like, are you trying? Is that what you're trying to follow, the Marvels? Oh, you're welcome to it. So they're turning Doctor Who into a stupid multiverse. Oh, that's great. That's just wonderful. As distinct as each of the 60th anniversary special episodes have been, and they're so good, so stunning, so brave, they each did a fantastic job of digging into the reality of how, after decades of journeying with their ordinary human allies, the Doctor has left more than a few of them behind and feels a profound kind of regret about it. Yes, all of which has now been retconned and rendered non-existent in the plot. More new stories centering around 14 and the classic companions could create a way for Davies to dig deeper into that aspect of the Doctor's psychology. And with blah, 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 who cares? But part of what made it possible for Tennant's initial run as the Doctor to become a monster success was the time and space he was given to fully own and make the character his own, independent of his immediate predecessor and, incidentally, the Message. The giggle doesn't wholly preclude Gatwa's ability to do the same, but simply by making this era one he might have to share with Tennant. Doctor Who has already put him at something of a disadvantage. Oh, God. Is there anything left to address in this? Yeah. Oh, God. The minds of cancel pigs. Like, this is They're psychos, man. They're psychos. You can't make these people happy no matter what you do. So there you go. Woke on woke crime. Doctor Who goes full blown retard. Doctor Who goes full blown The Message. Literally attacks fans. The showrunner Davies is attacking fans for disagreeing with not even The Message, just disagreeing with, oh, why did you undo that lovely ending with his companion? And yet still that's not enough. That's not enough. Meanwhile, you have another Doctor Who actor who is not expressing a lot of happiness. Let me just grab this for you. So this is the 9th Doctor, if I'm not mistaken. This is Eccleston, Christopher Eccleston, and he had some choice words.
Guys,
Timestamp is 1450. So he was asked about his thoughts on Russell T Davies and the current crop of creatives working on Doctor Who.
people would love to see you both come back at some point, but Christopher, for you, your experience was...
Only one person.
No, come on, everyone.
And that was my mother.
Guys, wouldn't you love
Who's
to
over
see...
there with the beard. Mom, you need to shave.
You'd all love to see Christopher come back as the Doctor, right? See? Now, what would have to happen for that to become a reality?
Sack Russell T Davies, sack Jane Tranter, sack Phil Collinson, sack Julie Gardner, and I'll come back. So can you arrange that?
Did you find it hard to be associated with the character?
That was like an Elon Musk kind of moment for that crowd. They were like, what? So there you go. Whatever his reasons, he ain't a fan. He ain't a fan of the current crowd. I enjoy that. Where is my chat? Yes, Melodic answering the captain's question. I don't know much about Doctor Who. I watched a few of the episodes before they brought it back 10 years or so. That's more than I have. Although I've been kind of learning. I'm like Doctor Who fan adjacent now because I share your pain. Wrangler says, what bugs me about African mythology is that every time I go looking for that sub-Saharan lore, all I find is Egyptian mythology. Well, you know, what's funny too is like there's a lot of criticism of Western civilization as being this dominant force. And it's like, well, but there's another problem, right? Which is cultures that did not write down their stories. We don't have a record of what writing is an important part of the history that we have. And so there are lots of cultures that had written traditions, right? But for the cultures like, for example, Native Americans that, you know, some of them did, some of them did not. If they didn't have writing, we don't have their history. We don't have their stories. So that's kind of a challenge that we have there. But even so, there are people now who are writing down stories that have been passed down through oral tradition. So but see, that requires like nuance. Like that's just the reality. That's just the reality of like, okay, we need to find stories. But my point is, look, if Anthony Mackie wants Black Frodo, that who cares? You don't need a source, but just go write it. Go write your story. Go crowdfund your movie. Do whatever it is you want to do. Like the problem I have is they go and find things that someone else, you know, imagine the arrogance of it too, of just to say that, like, you know, Tolkien wrote that. See, this is the gaslighting that they do, is they try to deny that Tolkien intended it to be English lore and history, English inspired mythology, I should say. They try to deny that. That's not true. We basically know from his writings, he intended to create a mythology that did not exist for the British Isles. For that exact problem, that it was not written down. Or, well, if it had been written down, it had been destroyed in wars and things like that. And so there was no recorded mythology that he could rely on. Beowulf, one of the great famous ballad of, you know, I forget, was that Danish or Scandinavian? I might have been Norwegian. I forget. It's kind of Scandinavian. The only reason we have Beowulf is because it was one of the few oral traditions that had survived that long. It was one of the few ballads that have been passed down long enough for someone to actually write it down. So there are lots of cultures, including European cultures, that did not write down their history for a long time, and we don't know what their stories were. So it's like, so the arrogance of presuming to try and, for lack of a better word, colonize someone else's story, like, dude, fuck off. Like it's none of your business what J.R. Tolkien wrote. In terms of you going in there, I demand that someone change it. That's none of your business. Like, that's none of your business. If you like the story, read it, enjoy it, pull up a chair, we'll enjoy it together. Great. If you don't, fuck off. Anthony Mackie and all you cancel pigs, like, screw you. Go make your own shit. And then you know what I'll do? I'll come lecture you about how it doesn't contain all the things I want it to contain. It's like, don't let these people push you around. And we're not. We're not letting these people push us around anymore. They have had quite a run. They've had quite a run. Now we're going on a run. That's the difference. Melodic says, this is weird, especially considering Egypt is not sub-Saharan. Wrangler says, but all my searches keep bringing up more Egypt. I want to find the sub-Saharan lore, the gods and beings from myth that no one in the West has heard of, and incorporate that into new stories. That's a great idea. And that's a tough challenge. Although it was fun, says Wrangler, writing a scuffle between Cernopos and Apophis. Egyptian lore is pretty badass, I have to say. Or are the new doctors Doctor Who and Doctor What, says Wrangler? Yeah, exactly. Melodic Method says, that's where I first heard of Anansi. Wrangler, the Enterprise A with a souped-up warp core and a flux capacitor piloted by Bo and Luke Duke. We're ready to race. Yes. That we used to have such discussions about the Klingon D7. The Klingon D7 was clearly the superior Klingon. You know, I can't even remember all the lore. I've forgotten a lot of Star Trek lore over the years. I mean, I still remember a lot of it, like a lot of it. But there was a time when, like, the exact models and when they came out in the timeline were in my head. That's one thing I think Star Trek always had that Star Wars did not as much have. Like, Star Wars was more about the kind of mythology of it. You know, the Jedi and the dark side and the light side, all that kind of stuff, the Force. And I feel like Star Trek was much more about like the ships and the technology. And so and there was a lot more technicality in like the exact, like, you know, you had the Constitution class and you had the Intrepid class and you had the Galaxy class. That was like one of the coolest things about Star Trek. Melodic says, back in a few minutes. Well, come and go whenever, Melodic. We'll be here. We're just hanging out, chatting. It's kind of a chill stream this week. Kind of a chill stream. So that's not all the woke on woke crime, though. There's more, folks. There's more. This from Bounding Into Comics, or no, this from Variety, I should say, and also probably Bounding Into Comics. Check this one out. So Disney, you know, the company that obviously believes all women, a judge allows 9,000 women to sue Disney for pay disparity. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, Dibney. Oh, Dibney. What has happened? You could just joke on it. Like, you're wacko crazy. They have probably got so many wackos in this company. You can't even believe it. They've probably got just foaming at the mouth social justice crazies, and they probably have the audacity to be surprised. What did we do? We're a very upstanding company. It's like, dude, they could just eat each other. So my point is, the walls are closing in. The walls are closing in. And on that point, we have this. We have this lovely story. Share screen. From The Hollywood Reporter, a for sale sign on Paramount will shape Sherry Redstone's legacy. As the mogul entertainer entertains offers for relinquishing control of the historic studio, some suitors seem more interested in flipping assets. I've been on that lot, actually. It's pretty cool. They had like a beer tasting kind of thing. They do like events like that on the back lot. The entertainment company that everyone in Hollywood is talking about is based in a nondescript 3-story office building in the Boston suburb of Norwood, Massachusetts, nestled between an indoor ice skating rink and a Home Depot distribution center, is the headquarters of National Amusements, Inc., a movie theater operator with 22 cinemas in the U.S., almost all in the New York to Boston corridor. But it's not the movie theaters that have investment bankers, media moguls, and opportunistic private equity firms salivating. No, it's National Amusements, the pride and joy of the media titan Summer Redstone, and now controlled by his daughter, Sherry, serves as a holding company for the family's most precious asset, voting control of Paramount Global, the owner of CBS, Paramount Plus, Paramount Pictures, Nickelodeon, and other media brands. Paramount, or at least control of Paramount via National Amusements, now appears to be on the block, with Redstone reportedly working with banker Byron Trott to figure out next steps. Among those kicking the tires is another scion of a mogul, David Ellison and his Skydance, which is working with Jerry Cardinals Redbird on evaluating potential deals. A precarious financial position for both Paramount and National Amusements could have played a role in the timing. The state of play at Paramount was laid out in stark terms on December 5th as a panel of credit analysts weighed in on what they think about for 2024. Cough button. Paramount S&P Global analyst Naveen Sarma noted, now had a credit rating of BBB minus, the bottom end of what we would call investment grade. And National Amusements has faced issues of its own. The movie theater business, after all, has not had a good few years. And do you know what we, the fans, say to that? Right. It's been a rough couple of years for woke Hollywood, hasn't it? It's not, it is not a rough year, by the way, for Godzilla -1. 60 million worldwide so far, and it's adding them. How many theaters has the Marvels added? Oh no. Oh no. I forgot. They stopped checking in. They stopped checking in, the Marvels did. So yes, it has been a rough year. Skydance and Redbird are far from alone. Should the Redstone stake in National Amusements or Paramount as a whole hit the block, the company's distress has also been top of mind for John Malone, the cable tycoon and Warner Brothers Discovery board member. We are headed to a period of distress. The streaming, conversion, or disruption, the fact that rates are now high, that a lot of maturities are approaching, Malone told investors in his Liberty Media at the company's shareholder meeting November 9th. There will be opportunities presented by distress, and companies that have got dry powder or some kind of currency will find synergistic consolidation opportunities. I totally read that in the wrong voice because that was a bunch of corporate gobbledygook. We are headed to a period of distress. The streaming conversion or disruption, the fact that rates are now high, that a lot of maturities are approaching, there will be opportunities presented by distress, and companies that have got dry powder or some kind of currency will find synergistic consolidation opportunities in that distress. Translation: Star Trek Discovery did not bring the subscribers. Okay, and that's your translation. It turns out that there is a downside to a certain strategy, which is
put a chick in it, make her gay. Fuck Indiana Jones.
That's it. There's a downside to that. Malone, as a mentor to WBD CEO, Warner Brothers Discovery CEO David Zaslav and a board member of the company knows a thing or two about synergistic consolidation opportunities. Ultimately, in a difficult environment, it's going to give us optionality. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's good. Oh, I am adding that to my corporate goon lexicon right there. Optionality. Oh, what a great word that is. That gives us optionality. Oh, it's a beauty, isn't it? Oh, that's a real beauty. Ultimately, in a difficult environment, it's going to give us optionality because we're surrounded by a lot of companies that don't have the geographic diversity that we have, aren't generating real free cash flow, and have debt that is presenting issues. Zaslav said on an earnings call, adding that there are excess players in the marketplace. So this will give us a chance not only to fight, to grow in the next year, but to have the kind of balance sheet that we could really be opportunistic over the next 12 to 24 months. Media insiders have been buzzing that the opportunities seen by Malone and Zaslav involve Paramount or at least some of the company's assets. So here's the bottom line of this article. Paramount is basically being, the vultures are circling, folks. The vultures are circling this company, and your dear captain, could not be happier. I couldn't be happier. I couldn't be happy. So now why is this good news and why is it interesting? Well, a couple of things. We have no way of knowing the exact numbers that Star Trek Discovery, Strange New Worlds, Star Trek Picard, or Lower Decks, or any of that bilge, that drivel. We have no way of knowing exactly how successful or unsuccessful they are in the way that we used to know for networks, because networks had the Nielsen ratings. You had ratings that came out, and those had to be published. I mean, I guess they had to be published, but at least they had to report those numbers in a way that was somehow publicly accessible because they had to sell to advertisers. They had to sell their product to advertisers, and advertisers were not going to buy a product that was getting low ratings. It's actually, in retrospect, it's a pretty brilliant system. It's actually, we should have had more respect for what a great system that was. Now they could just lie. They could just, we had millions and millions and millions we had millions of views on Velma. We just millions and millions of views on Velma. And it's like, no, you didn't. Like, no, you didn't. Well, prove it. Prove it, nerd. Well, you're right. I can't prove it. I just know because it's shit. Now, but there are other ways, a good detective uses the clues available at the crime scene. These are forensic clues at the crime scene. They won't tell us the numbers of the viewership numbers of Star Trek Discovery, and they won't cancel it because I don't know why. I really don't. Reddit loves Star Trek Discovery. Okay, the Reddit weirdos love Star Trek. They love talking about all the theories, about the mirror universe and all this stupid crap. Oh, we're gonna have Section 31 with a whole fleet and special uniform. Section 31 is supposed to be a covert organization that doesn't even exist in the official record. You idiot! No, they don't care anyway. That a Trekkie rant. I could get on a really righteous Trekkie rant. My objections to the Kurtzman Trek is not just the wokeness. Believe me, folks, I am not objecting to those series on just the wokeness factor, but it is a big one. I'm objecting that they have destroyed the Star Trek canon. Like, the canon of the story has been absolutely shattered by those shows in so many ways. Like, you think the Holdo maneuver is bad in The Last Jedi? They introduced something called the Spore Drive in Star Trek Discovery, which is a literal point-to-point teleportation for a ship anywhere in the universe ever. It eliminates the need for warp drive. Okay? It breaks all of the lore. No such technology, and this is before Kirk. This is supposedly technology that existed before Kirk's series. Okay? So they've essentially rendered Kirk's Enterprise obsolete in a prequel. Now, they use just a truly convoluted and stupid plot explanation for why no one ever knew about it. Oh, well, It goes something like this. If anyone in the galaxy were ever told about the spore drive, it would alert them to the fact that Section 31 created an AI, which itself wanted to take over a ancient planetary AI that was malevolent, merge with its consciousness, and then use that consciousness to become its own controlling intelligence of the entire Federation. And in order to prevent that from happening, they had to take all of that knowledge and transport it to the 29th century where it couldn't be found. And anyone left behind in the 23rd century had to deny all knowledge of those events. Therefore, there never was such a thing as the spore drive. If that sounds fucking stupid, it's because it is. That's what it is. That's what they've done to Star Trek Discovery. So my point is this article is a sign. The vultures are circling. Just like they're circling Disney, they're circling Paramount, because I'm telling you right now, the jig is up. Like I can't even believe they're still making so much garbage for these channels, like Amazon Prime, Netflix. They are still just pumping out all this garbage. It's like a money laundering scheme. It's like even the good stuff. It's like, how can you afford this? Like, where are you getting there's no return on your investment. Where are you getting this? In the case of Disney, as I have said, in the case of Disney, fuck, these are dumb people. Like, these are, they went over, like, I was watching Midnight's Edge, and they had this great point that basically they were analyzing the board of investors, right? Or not, the board of directors for Disney. Now, you would think that in a multi-billion-dollar corporation that the board of directors would be composed of people who themselves were major shareholders in the company. The combined value of all shares in Disney owned by its own board is like 15 million. There is less than 100, like less than a billion, less than 100 million, like $15 million in shares is about all the board, all to get put together, owns in the Disney company. The inmates are running the asylum. It's like, imagine if you're a major investor, you own like $2 billion of Disney stock. The company is being run by idiots that don't even have stock in the company. It's like, dumb people. And they don't know anything. And the board of directors at Disney, it's stocked with people who are like, that were former executives of like CVS, like pharmaceutical companies. These are the people that are approving the decision-making that has led to Ahsoka, Secret Invasion, Willow, Snow White, and the 7 magical non-binary creatures, Peter Pan and Wendy, The Little Mermaid remake, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantum Nausea. Like, if you want to know why is Doctor Who and By Generation, you want to know where all the shit's coming from? A bunch of people that used to run CVS who have no stake in the company, and they just do whatever Bobby Iger tells them to do. Dude, morons, nincompoops are running this company into the ground. It's unreal. And supported and enabled and propped up on the shoulders of the woke lunatic mob, the cancel pig mob that has taken over that company. I mean, one must admire such carnage. One must watch such utter destruction with a kind of existential, just awe. What else can I say? Melodic Method says companies that have dry powder will be snorting it up their noses. Big surprise. Big surprise. Wrangler says, and I want it lame. I asked for chicken this. I wanted it gay and lame. And lame. Melodic says, the current situation is a paradigm shift that will create optionality. Oh, yes, there you go. The current situation is a paradigm shift that will create optionality that pushes boundaries, allowing us to take a strategic role in using our dry powder. Oh my God. I corporate speak. It's like you just have to lie for a living. I think one of the best things too is Nelson Peltz and Ike Perlmutter have been it has been shots fired. They have sent this letter around to all the shareholders, and they are stoking up the mob, right? They're getting the mob ready. They're saying, they literally say there's no need to take action yet, but make sure that torch and that pitchfork are nearby, arm's reach, because that's what's going to happen at the annual earnings call. And so essentially they are getting ready to oust Bob Iger. They're trying to take over this company, Ike Perlmutter, and this is so fascinating too. It's like, because you see Elon Musk just go and buy Twitter outright, and I would think, being more of a layman in this area, I would think that's what you got to do. You got to buy the whole company to take it over. What's interesting is Elon's first strategy was not to buy the whole company. His first strategy was he bought a significant portion of shares to get on the board. Essentially, Elon was acting as an activist investor in his first strategy, just like Nelson Peltz is doing. That was Elon Musk's strategy with Twitter. I will become an activist investor, get on the board, and I'll start digging into things like, what's our policy on free speech? What's our policy on journalism and suppressing stories? How can we make changes to that? How can we make the company more transparent? Almost immediately. So he became a board member. I think he was pretty much, I don't know if it was official, but it was basically it was pending, at least, that he was going to be a board member. So he started sending emails to the CEO of the company. What the hell was that weirdo's name? I remember, what was her, Vagina Gotti? What the hell was her name? But then there was the CEO. Anyway, they were both losers. Who cares? But in any case, the loser CEO, Elon Musk, sends him an email, and basically, probably many, saying, hey, questions about the algorithm, questions about the bots, questions about this. The guy responds with a bunch of corporate gobbledygook that means nothing, takes no responsibility. He's just like Bob Iger. Takes no responsibility for it. Oh, it's very hard running a company this big, blah, blah, blah. And Elon Musk said, you know what? I'm getting nowhere with this. You're useless. That's it. Effectively, that's kind of what his response amounted to. I can see this is a waste of time. And that's when Elon said, okay, I'm going to buy the whole company. So it's really interesting to see that there is a strategy for taking control of a company that does not require you to buy it outright. It's very fascinating because essentially Nelson Peltz is bypassing the board and the CEO of Disney in order to overturn everything that this company is doing. And he's bypassing them, and he's going directly to the shareholders, and he's building a line. Dude, this is a Game of Thrones. This is a battle for the heart and soul of Disney. It's fascinating. And so he is basically working on a red wedding. He is working on a red wedding for Bob Iger and his sycophantic board. I don't think they're going to be able to hold him off for long. I really don't, because their strategy seems sound, which is to go to the shareholders and say, hey, do you like money? I know you probably haven't heard this question in a while, but do you like money? I mean, I don't know why you're invested in Disney, but I'm invested in Disney to make money. And if you agree with me, help me out on this. And it's like, so anyway, what did Disney reply to this letter that Nelson Peltz basically sent to all these shareholders and basically calling them out? It was basically a non-reply. It was, Disney is committed to diversity and quality storytelling and will continue to make good decisions about its board. It's like, oh my God. It's like, way to say nothing and lie at the same time. It's like they can't possibly tell the truth about anything. They can't take ownership of anything. I mean, I'm beginning to believe that like publicly traded companies are a bad idea. I'm just thinking out loud here, just philosophizing. I'm not arguing for any official policy change in our society. I'm just saying, like, I think about this. Like, if I have a company, there's no way I'm ever going to make it publicly traded. It should be private. It should have a vision, and it should have the right stewards running it. I think the way Elon's doing it with Twitter, brilliant. I think that's brilliant. There you go. Thank you. Melodic method. Yeah. Vagina got it. Oh, wait, no, that's what I said. What the hell was her name? Former trust, was it? No, that was Yoel Roth, was the trust and safety guy. Vijaya. There it is. Vijaya Gade. That was her name. Vijaya Gade. She was the. Now, listen, I am not making fun of like Indian names. I don't, but I am making fun of her name because it's Vagina Gade. But who was the former CEO? What was it? CEO of Twitter before Elon. That's the one I want. No, it wasn't Jack Dorsey. After Jack Dorsey. CEO of Twitter after Jack Dorsey. I know, just humor me. That's it. Paraj Agrawal. Paraj Agrawal. And I remember that Elon called him out publicly in a tweet and just said, like, hey, this is before he bought it. And he said, and the thing about Elon is his questions are always very clear, specific, and straightforward. What is the percentage of bots on the platform? How does the algorithm work, etc.? Paraj responds with this just list of tweets, all just a bunch of. It was just like that Bob Iger thing on the what was that, the book deal summit, and he's just basically saying, well, there's a lot of complicated algorithms, and there's lots of challenges and this and that, and it's not easy, and it was all in this snooty, better than you, Elon doesn't know what he's talking about, he hasn't worked in this job, and it was like, at Elon's response, I can't remember what it was, but it was a very curt reply, and it was just, oh, that's right, that was the one that got the poop emoji, that's right. His reply was a poop emoji. I remember now. So Parag gives this long, complicated, detailed litany of all the complicated. This is why it's so difficult, Elon. He responds with a poop emoji. It was one of the greatest things in history. Until he bought it, of course. So anyway. Yes. They are screwed. We are winning against the cancel pigs, folks. We are winning against the cancel pigs. Hey, you know what? This is apropos of nothing. Okay, there's no reason for me to show you this, but Count Dankula had this on a tweet a while back, and I just stumbled across it. And anyway, do I dare? Okay, here we go.
Oh shit.
So these kids, look, they managed to pair with the Bluetooth speaker in the church. They played a fart on the loudspeaker in the church. Yes. Why is that still funny? I don't know. I don't know. It's almost as funny as this.
That indescribable feeling we get when the lights begin to dim. And we go somewhere we've never been before. Not just entertained, but somehow reborn together. Dazzling images on a huge silver screen. Sound that I can feel. Somehow, heartbreak feels good in a place like this. Our heroes feel like the best part of us. And stories feel perfect and powerful. Because here, they are. AMC Theaters. We make movies better.
Oh, Chris Gore had that on film thread. Dude, nothing paints a better picture of, like, my opinion of, like, what Hollywood thinks of itself and what the reality of what Hollywood is producing. Like, just, that's honestly, that's literally how I feel as a cinema goer when I'm watching trailers these days. I watch these trailers and it might as well be that scene from Dumb and Dumber. Like that stupid Argyle thing with Bryce Dallas Howard and the kitty cat. Oh my God. Melodic method. God made farts too. He sure did. He sure did, Melodic. Wrangler says, once the cancel pigs get fat enough, they will be harvested and yield culture bacon. Oh, no. I don't know exactly what that means, Wrangler, but I'm here for it. You know what's funny is, so I was playing Mass Effect, just apropos of nothing. I was playing my 137th playthrough of the Mass Effect trilogy, and I was, this time, it's one of the rare playthroughs where I save Ashley, because Ashley is so annoying, but I decided to save her instead of Caden for this playthrough, because there actually was a lot of her story I missed because I never save her. Anyway, so I save her, and I'm chatting her up in the Normandy throughout the trilogy, and before this, I had seen on Reddit, there was a bunch of cancel pigs on Reddit, and they were bitching. They were just some blue hairs, They were just bitching about how Ashley is such a racist. Ashley is such a racist character. And so, well, in the story, Ashley is an Alliance Marine she is a Christian. She's a believer in God, unlike, it's implied, it's not really clear in the lore, but it is implied that most people in the Mass Effect future are fairly agnostic or atheistic, at least among humans. And so the game makes a point that it's unusual that she believes in God, right? But also she's suspicious of aliens and their motives in the story. And I read this Reddit post, and I'm thinking to myself, oh, you guys, these wokies, they're always upset. They're always upset about something. Well, I start playing through it again, right? And and for once, I kind of had to back off a little bit because I'm going through it, and literally there's a scene in which Ashley is jealous of you, romancing Liara, who's the Asari, and she is the best one to romance. Let's just face it. Anyway, I'm Team Liara. Okay, so you're romancing Liara, and she's getting a little jealous, and she's like, "Well, I guess if you like all those tentacles, Commander," and I'm like, what the fuck, man? And then she starts saying mean things about Liara, like, well, I guess she would know with all those scales. And I'm like, wow, where did that come from? And so I'm literally like playing this game, and I'm like, this racist bitch. And so I was agreeing with the damn blue hairs. I was like, okay, you kind of have a point on this one, because she's really nasty. She gets, she honestly is like you're a nasty woman. That's kind of and the funny thing too is it's not like she's making a good nuanced case for, like, well, she kind of does. She says, like, aliens will always look out for each other. They'll look out for themselves just like we would look out for ourselves. So I don't hate aliens. I just think that we got to trust ourselves, That's at least a little better than just deliberately being mean to aliens because they're aliens, But she's like that through the whole game. Like, she doesn't let up at all. Like, she doesn't get to a point where she's like, okay, I was kind of wrong. Liara's she's a good teammate. I'm cool with her, or something like that. She's like, oh, I was wrong to be so suspicious. No, she's mean as hell to all the aliens the whole way through the trilogy. It's so funny. Anyway, if you're a Mass Effect fan, I just thought I would bring that up, apropos of nothing. Let's do a Dune trailer. What do you say? I am so excited for Dune. I don't know about you, but the third Dune trailer has dropped. I love the first Dune film. And and as I say about this, what my first reaction after seeing the Dune film, because that was the same year that, like, I watched Shang-Chi. I skipped Eternals. I wasn't even super like this is before MCU was a thing. This is before I was even thinking about the MCU being woke or garbage or anything. And even then I skipped the Eternals. And the number one reason I skipped the Eternals, I was like, this world is getting kind of ridiculous at this point. It's like, why are there all these giant cosmic dangers all the time? And we have these giant, massive teams of people fighting them that we've never heard of in the canon. So I was just like, this seems weird. I don't care about it. And so I skipped the Eternals. And it turns out I dodged a bullet. But I did watch Shang-Chi. And I was getting very tired of just these bloated CGI, just, I couldn't put my finger on it exactly at the time. But I just got the sense, what I was picking up on was the fact that all these things are the same. They're just all the same. They feed them through the algorithm wood chipper, and they just come out as product. They just come out as product. It's like you're not allowed to have real stakes. You're not allowed to have the threat of actual tragedy and loss. You're not allowed to have real violence. And you're not allowed, incidentally, to have a male with a hero's journey. That's not allowed anymore either. But at the time, this was still somewhat unclear to me. And I just remember feeling vaguely tired of just the kind of slop, you know? Then I go to see Dune. I sit in this film, and the first moment in that film where, I mean, they're obviously right from the first shot, I'm in. I'm like, okay, you have my attention. But the moment in the film where this clicked for me that like, oh my God, I've been watching garbage for years. I've been watching garbage for years was the moment when Paul Atreides is sitting at the table with his mother. She's teaching him to use the voice, and she says, no, make me hand you the water. And he tries it, it fails. And then he gets it right. And the sound design where they allow you to kind of hear, because it's a surround sound theater, right? And I could hear behind me like a lower pitched voice. And to the side, I could hear kind of another voice. And then right in front of me, I hear his voice. It was freaking awesome. I was like, wow, what a great use of sound design to kind of give me the feeling of being mind controlled by this character. And I was like, oh, this is what filmmaking is. That's how you make a film. And so I come out of that movie and I'm like, oh, wow, it's been a long time since I've seen a film. Just a film made by adults. An adult, wait, careful. I didn't mean adult film. No, I mean a film made by proper professionals, okay? Redoubt Productions is in the chat. Hail, Redoubt. You missed all the Doctor Who talk. I was tearing up. Doctor Who, the cancel pigs are coming after Davies, and he gave them everything they wanted. They're still mad. They're big mad. So anyway, good to see you, Redoubt. Welcome here. Welcome in. I don't want to say welcome in, because that's like what they say when you get to Chipotle. You know what I mean? It's like, no, you're not at Chipotle. You are not at Chipotle, my dear fan. My dear, I did not... friend is what I meant to say. But my dear sailors and star knots, I dare not say fans. I haven't heard that yet. My dear sailors and star knots, you are not at Chipotle. You are on an exciting journey across the stars of entertainment and nerd culture. We, the crew of the Swords and Starships channel, seek out new stories and new civilizations. And on that note, we will now watch the Dune Part 2 new trailer. Begin.
It's okay. I'm here.
I've not seen this, by the way.
I'm here. It's been a while since you've had one of those nightmares. Tell me, what was it about?
It's only fragments. Nothing's clear. You've been fighting the Harkonnens for decades.
Look!
My family's been fighting them for centuries.
Your blood comes from dukes, then great houses. Here, we're equal. What we do for the benefit of all.
Yes, that's a bit of the message there. But wow, visually, you know, it's still, to this day, it amazes me that this is basically a film about a desert planet. It's a desert planet. It could be very visually boring, right? This could just be Tatooine all over again, right? Somehow, the use of sound, the use of locations, just the visuals in this are gorgeous. It's like an art film visually.
Well, I'd very much like to be equal to you.
Maybe I'll show you the way.
All I know is to be equal to her, he would have to not be male presenting. That's just my opinion. That's very difficult for a male presenting character to achieve.
Deal with this prophet. Send assassins.
Christopher Walken is in it. Oh, dude, I'm telling you right now, one shot. I'm all about this character right here. What is going on with this guy? Dude, look at how much they're able to communicate with one frame. One frame. It's like I've already got a sense that there's something interesting with this character and his performance. It's like it's incredible how Disney does so little with so much. They have Hayden Christensen, they have Ewan McGregor, they have Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni. They have all of these just creatives, these actors. They have all this money. They can do all these visual effects, and they can't create hardly. They can't do 8 episodes that are interesting. Right? Look at how this trailer, in one shot, I'm already intrigued by this character. I don't know anything about him.
I see possible futures all at once. And in so many futures, our enemies prevail. But I do see a way. There is a narrow way through. My allegiance is to you. Do you believe me?
Damn, I'm getting a warning. I wish I didn't have to stop it because that is some magnificent music. That is just awesome. Notice how there's not this stupid postmodern like rock band music that they put in the Napoleon trailer. None of that. It's like, no, this is like the film's actual soundtrack, which is I think sounds like to me. If not, it's pretty amazing anyway.
This is a form of power that our world has not yet seen. The ultimate power.
I want you to know I will love you as long as I breathe.
You will never lose me as long as...
You know what's kind of amazing about this is like this is a story immediately hitting every right note. It's like epic scale, a young man trying to prove himself on this epic adventure, a struggle against tyranny and oppression, a love story. It's like it's almost as if those kinds of things still resonate with our consciousness and our soul. It's like it's amazing how Disney is like, oh well, she is not going to be falling in love with a man. That is not what this Snow White is going to be about. It's fuck off. Let's see. Has my warning cleared? Hopefully I don't get blocked. All right. See if we can get through the last little bit.
You stay who you are.
Consider what you're about to do, Paul Atreides.
Silence!
This prophecy is how they enslave us.
Oh, it kills me to pause it because it's so magnificent. But I love that actress that plays one of the sisters. What is her name? She was in Dexter. She played the mother of Dexter, the spiritual mother of Dexter, not actually his real mother. But anyway, she's a great actress. She plays she's kind of a great character actor. But in any case, let's see if we can. Have I been blocked? Not yet. All right. Let's see if we can get through the last little bit.
Prepared for what is to come.
Dude, I am prepared. I am prepared. Like, please let this movie come out. I am prepared for this movie. I am prepared for this. I really am. Oh man, I'm excited. I'm really excited. Now, is there a red flag or two in that trailer? I would say yes, but I think it's canceled out by the fact that he literally, and listen, it's so bizarre. You know, the cancel pigs have put us in the position of making this is a weird thing to even have to bring up. Okay. This is a weird thing to even have to talk about. I wouldn't talk about this stuff if it weren't for the fact that the cancel pigs are always making an issue of this kind of thing. So because they are using this as a pretext to literally change established stories, we're placed in the position of having to defend ourselves, you know. So in a sense, rhetorical self-defense is why I bring this up. But in any case, the fact that he is saying, I want to become your equal now, red flag, that could be playing into the message, and it's going to be, he's going to basically be lectured to. It's his story, right? It's his story. Now, listen, if it's a film that is like, let's say it's Katniss Everdeen and it's the Hunger Games, I would expect that she is the one that is driving the story. She is the one that is, taking charge in certain parts of the film because that's her hero's journey. It's okay. So this is not, the issue is that Paul Atreides, this is his story. So if he is the principal protagonist, then he should not be spending the whole movie basically being lectured to and apologizing for his existence, which is what would happen in any Disney or Netflix project. So that's a red flag, but not a serious red flag because I've seen the first film. However, the fact that he then later is flat out telling a woman to be silent, that's pretty. That kind of cancels it out for me. I'm like, there's no way that the cancel pigs would allow that line. That's very problematic. That is, I'm very uncomfortable with that. Oh boy, as a male feminist, I am very, very uncomfortable with that scene. So, there you go. I know, Melodic. I'm with you on this. Oh, I forgot about Zendaya. I know. What is this? Why do people like, nothing against Zendaya? I'm sure she's fine. Whatever. Nothing personally against her. But why do people like her as an actor? I don't understand this. What's funny is I did not like her in the Tom Holland Spider-Man film. I did not like her as MJ, but that mostly had to do with the fact that she's kind of a mean-spirited social justice warrior in the first film. She is an absolute SJW. She's annoying. And frankly, she's a very trite character. She's a very, what's the word I'm looking for? Cliche. She's a very cliche character these days because they think that's counterculture. That's not counterculture. That's basically the same character as Scott Lang's daughter in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, a SJW snooze fest. However, even though I didn't like her interpretation of that character, which mostly had to do with the writing, I think, I kind of warmed up to the character by the third film. Like the third film, No Way Home, she won me over. She won me over. Still, I don't understand what people see in her as an actor, right? She just doesn't have leading woman energy to me. She just doesn't. So she wasn't in a whole lot. But to be fair, I also kind of have the same opinion of Timothy Chalamet. That's his name, right? Is it Timothy Chalamet? I'm suddenly doubting myself about his first name. Timothy Chalamet. Okay, I had it right. Oh God, the Google image search on this guy is even worse. No, I like him even less now. So anyway, yeah, to be fair, I'm not a big fan of Timothy Chalamet either, but he does work as Paul Atreides. He seems to work as this character, but that has a lot to do with the fact that he's kind of earning it. He's kind of earning it in the story. So we'll see. We'll just have to put up with a little bit of Zendaya. Quick, call Kevin Bacon. I'll do that right. I meant to do cough button and I removed myself from the stream. Okay. So yeah, that's Dune Part 2. I'm pretty excited. I'm stoked on it. I had a whole bunch of trailers today. Do I dare? Do I dare play this next one? I don't know. Yeah, what else I got to do? What else have I got to do on a Sunday? All right. So this is a thing which exists. Remember when I've told you on this stream that wokeness, the woke behavior is evil? That is not hyperbole. That is not hyperbole. I'm dead serious about that. Woke behavior and their worldview is evil. And this is a film which is a product of that worldview.
Magical Negroes.
I know you can feel their discomfort, Aaron. Watching you walk through a room full of white people was the most painful thing I've ever seen.
Excuse me. Sorry.
I don't want to take you to a job interview. There's a recruiting class starting right now, and we got to get you in it.
Welcome to the American Society of Magical Negroes.
I don't really understand.
It's easier to say. What's the most dangerous animal on the planet?
Shark.
White people, when they feel uncomfortable.
The most dangerous animal on the planet. There is well, look what the cat drag did. Look what the cat drag did. We got Polo Surf in the chat. Where is that? Polo Surf is here. Well, hello there, Polo Surf. Good to see you. And a suitably nautical name, which I appreciate. I appreciate it. That's funny. I was just thinking the other day. I was like, Fu Man Blue, Star Fury, Tom, are basically like my very first viewers on this channel. And there was one, Polo Surf was it. And I was like, where's Polo Surf been? So anyway, good to see you. Good to see you, Polo Surf. This looks like satire, Cap. Well, okay. I absolutely hear what you're saying. I absolutely hear what you're saying because the argument is that this could actually be ironic. It could be sort of making fun of this way of thinking. I don't think it is, though. I don't, because the tone of this is it's actually satirizing. You know what it's satirizing? It is satirizing Black, in my opinion, it is satirizing Black people's feelings about having to please white people. Now, that is not inherently a bad idea for a film. The problem is, my reading of this is that it is saying that they are correct in this assessment, that white people are unhappy white people are the most dangerous animals in the wild. But you know what's so interesting about this? If I may speak from my own ancestry for a second here, my experience of this idea is that if I were in his shoes and I were surrounded by people who looked down on me because of my race, that would suck. And I would feel very bad about that. Interestingly enough, I sometimes feel uncomfortable. Oh, Jesus, I'm on the internet here. How do I phrase this so it's not I sometimes feel uncomfortable among people who are different from me or just because I don't know them and I'm afraid. And sometimes I think, well, they won't like me or they won't think well of me. You know what that's called? That's called humans. That's called humans. If you are suddenly in a place, I'm not even talking, this is not racial. I'm saying like anywhere you go where you're kind of an outsider. That's what I mean. If you are in a situation where you're kind of the outsider, you're going to feel a little uncomfortable. So if you are in, let's say, like as a Californian, I'll never forget this. I'm a Californian originally. I was at a bar in Tennessee years ago. People in the bar are saying like, hey, where are you from? And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm from California. You should have seen, this is like 15 years ago. Okay. You should have seen the look on their face. It went from, oh yeah, where are you from? Oh, I'm from California. California. That's like, you could just, all the energy just went out of the room. They're like, well, you could kindly go the fuck back is what you could do. So, by the way, I don't blame them for feeling that way at all. So it's like, you're in an unfamiliar place or you're in an unfamiliar crowd. It's natural to feel uncomfortable. Now, I'm not saying that anyway, I'll just leave it there. So my reading of this is a film about overly sensitive people reading into their sensitivity toward what other people think of them as in a racial context. Everybody who is overly sensitive to what other people think are going to find reasons for rationalizing that feeling. The reality is every human being is susceptible to feeling this way. Every human being. So in any case, we might as well just roll tape.
White people feeling uncomfortable precedes a lot of bad stuff for us. That's why we fight white discomfort every day. Because the happier they are, the safer we are.
The name needs a little updating, maybe like magical
black people, or I guess that doesn't have the same ring.
You ready?
Oh, wow.
Your first client.
You know what my prescription for this guy is? It's like, how about listening to some David Goggins? Navy SEAL, self-made man, black guy who takes no shit from anyone. Why don't you go listen to him? Because he could tell you a few things about how much you need to give a shit about what other people think of you.
This is Jason Munn. His morale is far too low.
Hey.
Hey.
Darn it. I was hoping there was a station right next to him.
Oh, is this one spoken for?
No.
Yeah, it's actually fun and weirdly relaxing. It's like being a secret agent with none of the danger.
Hey, I'm Lizzie.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
She's great.
Yeah, she's cool.
You kidding?
And the rest of it is basically a rom-com. But that's about all I can stomach of this. Oh, shit. I forgot to change my view. But in any case, sorry about that. Captain is just discombobulated. Anyway. Why won't they let racism go away in our society? Like, why won't they let it die? It's like, you could never do a film like this the other way around. Like, and nor should you, by the way. I'm not saying you should be able to do that, or, well, able. I mean, in terms of what the culture will allow, is what I mean when I say able to. I'm not arguing for the reverse of this movie. I just think, like, why are you creating division where none exists? This is essentially wokeness to me. This is what wokeness is. This is looking around society for things that aren't broken and looking to create a problem where none exists. So anyway, Wrangler says, in all fairness, this could easily be seen as a parody of wokeness. I don't know that I agree it could easily be seen. The thrust of the rest of the trailer is it essentially turns into a rom-com. It's an institutionalized story. It's basically what it is. So, well, in order to have a full discussion of this, let's play the rest of it.
Come on, man. She's smart and funny.
I know what you were doing going on about her. You're trying to set us up.
No, that's not what I was doing.
You cannot have a relationship with Lizzie now. Because if you don't put Jason first, everyone's magic will fail.
I've always felt like it's my job to make white people feel comfortable, and here it literally is. But maybe it shouldn't be.
I got a great plan to ask her out, but I'm gonna need your help.
I agree with that. It's not your problem what white people think of you. Like, now, if it's 1830, yes, it's a big problem. Now in 2023, it's not a problem, dude. You don't owe white people anything. And by the way, white people don't owe you anything. By the way, that's just people. What other people think of you is none of your business. I agree with that.
Do you think you could work your magic?
Hey, is he talking about me?
Hey.
Oh, wait, are you?
But I've traveled a long way.
Someone defied the society. Who was it?
You didn't let her go like I told you. If you interfere with her or your client, you could have your memory erased. You won't even remember she existed.
Even though we might never see each other again, I need you to know that what we had was real.
I'm curious to see how you gonna make it out of all this.
So it's essentially an institutionalized love story in which his choice is to either join the institution, in this case, the American Society of you-know-what. He has a choice to join it, burn it down, or be sacrificed. Basically die, right? That's usually the choice in an institutionalized. In this case, it's join it or burn it down. So he's going to burn it down. But what's interesting about it is, so this is why I would argue it's not a parody of wokeness, because it's like this close to being a criticism of wokeness. Because if he were to realize that, hey, this idea, that this whole premise that your organization is founded on is wrong and unnecessary, because this is in your mind, this is not really like, if that were what it was, I would agree with you. I'd say that's a pretty good criticism. But what he's saying is, no, you're right. You're right about the whole issue with white people. However, I mean, essentially, that's what he's saying. Let me just rewind it real quick. What was the line? What was the line? I've always thought, I've always felt like it's my job to make people feel comfortable. And here it literally is, but maybe it shouldn't be. I don't feel like that's rejecting the philosophy of the organization. I feel he's simply rejecting being a part of it. That's the way I read that. I read that as he's rejecting being a part of the institution and saying, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do this my way, as opposed to saying, I'm rejecting the philosophy of the organization. What you're doing is wrong, and therefore it should stop. So that's a fine line, and it's just a trailer, so I could be wrong. I could be wrong about that, but I'm just going to say there's a couple. It depends. If the full context of the film is that this is an immoral organization because it's racist, then I agree with you. I'm good with it. It's a good film, or it's a good concept for a film. If it's I just disagree with your method, that I think that's what I'm getting at, right? Is he disagreeing with their racism? Because this is a racist organization, right? Is he disagreeing with their racism, or is he disagreeing with their method? That's the distinction I'm drawing here. It took me, Captain had to work his way around to it, but that's basically the distinction. I am arguing that based on that trailer, my feeling is he is disagreeing with their method and his place in it. He is not disagreeing with their premise. If it turns out in the film that he's disagreeing with their premise, then actually I agree with that. So there you go. Redoubt Productions. But what do you think, chat? Redoubt Productions says, I showed my co-host the poster for American Society of ... With no context, they still think I made it up. Dude, it's pretty ridiculous. You know, this is kind of the line I draw. I am absolutely okay with watching films, comedies, etc., with progressive themes that challenge me, that make fun of both sides. Like, I like that stuff. I'm fine with it. South Park is making fun of me as often as it's making fun of wokeness or whatever it is. I'm fine with that. But sometimes it's a joke that they take literally. Like when I read that scene where he's like, the most dangerous animal in the wild is a white man. It's like, well, here's the deal. I don't get the sense from that film that the film itself is criticizing that point of view. I get the sense from the film that actually is the correct point of view. The question that's being debated in that trailer is, what should we do about it? Should we have this magical society be a part of it, or should we not? So it's not actually critiquing the idea. It's saying, what should we do about it? And it's nesting the story within that. And it's basically his choice of whether he will join it or defy it, right? Will he join the organization and use their methods, or will he go a different route? But it's not indicting that idea that, like, this is a problem and this is the proper attitude about the problem. That white people are animals, and that if they're not pleased, they will unleash. I mean, the implication there is that we'll be violent. We'll be violent to anyone that is different from us if we're unhappy about something. Try saying that about any other racial. Well, you can say that about the Jews. You can say that the lefties will allow you to say that about Jews now. You can. So white people and Jews are the two crowds that you are allowed to be racist against in our modern society, according to left woke cancel pigs. So that's my issue with the film. So anyway, I could be wrong. It's been known to happen. Rarely, but it has been known to happen, the captain being wrong. Wrangler says, in all fairness, yeah, okay, I read that one. Polo Surf says, love your stream. Well, thank you, Polo Surf. I appreciate that. A fine compliment. And I am nothing if not a servant of the audience. And so I am here to entertain, enlighten, have a little fun on a Sunday night, get us revved up for an amazing week. And also, just a little bit of inside baseball. I am in the process of transferring all of my previous live streams of the Captain's Cast here on the Swords and Starships channel, YouTube, Rumble, and X, formerly Twitter. Please like and subscribe. All of those live streams are being uploaded to a new channel called Swords and Starships Live. So very soon, what I'm going to be doing is I will still have the live streams here on the flagship, Swords and Starships, but then I will take them off of this channel and put them on the live channel. And that is for algorithm purposes. And then what I'm going to do is have clips of the live streams throughout the week on the main channel. So we'll be doing kind of clips. So, and I will make sure to link to the full live stream and all the clips. So that's what we're working on. It's taking a long time to get all that content uploaded. I literally have to do it one at a time because it won't allow me to do it multiple at a time. I'm up to about like 20, I think. So this is 49, folks. We're going to have the 50th anniversary stream like next week. By the way, the next 2 times I talk to you are going to be holidays. The next time we meet, possibly, you may have better things to do. That's totally fair. But on Christmas Eve, I will be here. Sunday, Christmas Eve, and then Sunday, New Year's Eve. So I'm covering the eves. And I'm thinking about doing some Lord of the Rings retrospective. I don't know. I'm thinking of kicking around some ideas. If you have any suggestions, feel free to send them over. But I'll be hanging out here on my Christmas Eve stream. And there might even be some Christmas colors on the galaxy behind me. What else? What did I say? Did I say Poyo? Oh, a melodic method is saying polo pronounced Poyo. Oh, you're right. Oh, I'm thinking of like water polo. Oh, shit. Have I been screwing that up all this time? I didn't even think about that. Yeah, Poyo surf. Like, I mean, I don't know what that means. Chicken surf. Poyo surf. Okay. I don't know why I've always seen that as just polo, as in like the sport of polo. And I think it's because surf made me think of water, which made me think of water polo. Polo surf. You let me know, Poyo surf. Is it Poyo or polo? I will do my best. I don't want to dead name you. Wrangler says any fish out of water scenario. I'm going with what I think Wrangler came up with. Poyo surf. Maybe I'm way behind in the chat, so I beg your indulgence and your forgiveness. We'll try to get through these quickly. I don't remember Focus Features distributing such blatant nonsense. By the way, I am totally fine with movies like this existing. You want to make some kind of anti-white racist screed? I'm fine with it. Go make it. Make that movie. I am fine with my ideas being challenged in the public square. I only object to cancel pigs. The only people's ideas I object to are cancel pigs. Because they want to cancel other people's ideas. So yeah, I'm totally fine with you want to make. Now I'm going to rip the shit out of it because it's odious and it's awful to make a anti-white racist creed because racism is bad. Okay. Let's enter that into the record, shall we? I'm against it. I'm against it in all of its forms. So, but Poyo Surf says, yeah, it seems like the magical society will turn on the protagonist past an act and a half. I mean, okay, just leaving aside the political issues of it or and just the generally odious nature of it as I see it, it's not a bad concept for an institutionalized story. It actually makes a lot of sense. It's like basically it's a be careful what you wish for kind of thing. So I mean, it's almost the exact same plot as something like what the hell was that movie with Michael Fassbender in it? Anyway, it was like he's like an assassin that can curve bullets. I forget what it's called, but anyway, Polio Surf says, what are your thoughts on the potential of Daily Wire Plus original programming? Yeah, that's a good question. Well, listen, we need to build new things. We need to have a parallel economy. I think Jeremy Boring, being someone who's always been interested in filmmaking, happens to be pretty decent as a filmmaker. I think he knows what he's doing. He basically has competent judgment in terms of as a filmmaker. So he's got some good instincts there. I do think he's got work to do. Like, I think he's got to get better as a filmmaker. You got to realize anyone who is not 100% all in with the wokies and the cancel pigs, if you are not 100% in their club, you are persona non grata in the major Hollywood studios, or you're just, you're closeted. It's one of the two. Ironic, isn't it? Yeah, so they have created a culture in which I remember just like, let's see, I was in college 20 years ago, and I did some film school stuff. And I remember that at that time, do you know what film studies was about? Like film, it was about how to film things. It was about establishing shots and depth of field and technical things about how to actually what is the purpose of a film. Should it match reality? Should it be different than reality? Those were the ideas that were being discussed back then. So in other words, technical and craftsmanship knowledge, right? And in order to get good at something, you had to learn from people who were good at it. That was the idea. What the wokies have done, especially at Disney, is they have driven out everyone that has technical and creative competency. So we have the Iron Age, people like, I would argue, Jeremy Boring, Eric July. We're people that have been cut out of the main industry. Those of us that maybe did not have the benefit of great mentors, right, to like go up through those normal ranks, now have to figure it out on our own. And so there will be some growing pains. And I've been very candid. I am 100% all in on the Rippaverse and Eric July. I love what he's doing. He's built an amazing lore so far. As a writer, he's decent. He's competent. He's got work to do. He's got to level up his game, right? In a sane world, he would have had, as part of the industry, he would have had a lot of mentorship as he was working on it, and he would have learned a lot of lessons early and gotten good at it, I think. But in his case, he's had to do it all on his own because someone like Eric July he's not allowed in their club. By the way, I'm not complaining. Neither is he. We're fine with that. It's just the reality. Now, I do suspect now that he's working with some really amazing talents, he's bringing in all these great talents. I mean, I think he's going to level up like you can't believe very quickly. He already is as a businessman and as a creative. So my point is, on Daily Wire, there's going to be growing pains. Like Lady Ballers was, what I'm hearing is it was a decent comedy, but it wasn't like one of their best. But they'll get there. I think the biggest problem that Daily Wire has, I really agree with Chris Gore on this. I think that it's that damn Daily Wire Plus paywall. I just think that is such a barrier to entry for anyone that's not already on their side. And I think that if they had VOD licensing, that would be much better. If they could sometimes get a limited now, Jeremy Boring did say that none of the theaters would work with them, so that's fair. But like even just being able to license it as a video on demand somehow, I think would be beneficial because people need to see these films in order to kind of expand the cultural footprint. However, that's why we're here. We're here on YouTube. We're doing it anyway. We're carrying the torch. So there you go. Wrangler says, do you know what this movie means? It means the establishment is running out of propaganda. I think maybe. I don't think so. There's no end of propaganda. I was just thinking like, someone was making the point. Was it Jeremy at the Quartering? I forget. Someone was saying like, man, the villains of World War II would have loved the technological capabilities that we have now to lie and to censor and to find out, like dox people, and that ability. Oh man, Joseph Goebbels would have loved having that ability to like find, dox libs of TikTok and stuff like that. But and I agree with him on that point. However, I do think that like Goebbels would have hated the kind of independent YouTube creator community. That would have been his enemy number one. And he would have been all about deplatforming. And so that just to me is like, oh yeah, that tracks perfectly. It's like the wokies are the cancel pigs are exactly in alignment with what, the World War II villainous party, the Yahtzees. They are in perfect alignment with what the Yahtzees would have wanted to do with YouTube, which is deplatform anyone. I've said this, deplatforming and shadow banning is modern book burning. It's modern book burning because, it's amazing to me that the same drooling wokey cancel pigs are, punch a Yahtzee. That's that crowd because they think book burning is bad, but censoring tweets and deplatforming is good. Do you not understand that, like, in the time of the 40s, like, that's why you burned books, because that was the platform. Books were the platform back then. Journalism, basically radio broadcast, newspapers, and books. Those were the platforms for getting out a message that went counter to the state. That's why they burned them. That's why they took them over. So anyway, there's no limit. Anyway, I just a thought I had. Poyo Sir says, looks like if you dropped a Blu-ray copy of Beale Street Could Talk and it got squished by a steamroller. Can you still see these chats? Still on Rumble? Yes, I've got Rumble up. I got Rumble. Who did the captain? Speaking of Rumble, on Rumble, Wrangler says, who did the captain appease? Sacrifice to appease the dark ones of YouTube. Well, yeah, it involved much livestock and it cost me a lot. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I don't know what's. I got away with playing a couple trailers. Maybe that's what you're talking about. The captain has upset the dark ones. Uh-oh, did I get blocked? Okay, I got blocked. Okay, I'm catching up on the chat. All right. Okay, the captain has officially caught up, so I got blocked. Damn it. I thought I could get away with it. Okay, Readout Production says, Royce is doing a re-upload channel. Now the captain, I'm sensing I should start doing the same. So here's the deal, Readout. And I've learned this from other YouTubers who explain this. You know, I take notes. I literally, when I hear a YouTuber explaining how something works that I follow, I'm like, okay, make a note of that. And like one of the things I'm hearing, especially currently, is what the algorithm wants. If you'll pardon a little inside baseball, what the algorithm wants is it wants watch hours. Let's see. So like the total amount of hours of content versus the amount of hours watched. Right? YouTube, the more hours watched compared to the hours available, the better you do in the algorithm. The problem with live streams is, even though, you know, I've got people watching it, the average viewer is only going to watch a few minutes, you know, but there's like 4 hours of content. So if I've got 4 hours of content and my average watch time is like 5 minutes, that kills me in the algorithm because it's telling YouTube nobody's watching this guy. However, if I've got a 5-minute video and most of my viewers watch at least half or most of it, then that's telling the algorithm, okay, people are watching this guy. So that's the issue, right? So you just don't want to have the recordings of super long content unless you're Mahler the long man. That's the only one who can get away with it. If you have long content that's just sitting there, it's killing you in the algorithm because the average watch time is super low on that. So that's why. That's why the Critical Drinker does it. You know, he has his after hours channel and then he has his main channel. So that's what I'm going with. So yes, I would say if you're doing live streams, I think the way to do it is have the live stream on the main channel and then put the recording on the other channel, which is how I'm going to do it. Hopefully I wasn't blocked for too long because I hate that. I hate that when a stream just cuts out. What else we got? We also have Frequency Studios in the chat. Is that you too, Wrangler? I don't want your wing it leftovers. I'm a double dipping. Oh, I love it. That's 2 views for the price of 1. Well, thanks, Wrangler. I appreciate that. Polio Surf says, have a road show. Wrangler says, Justin Nemos, before he got kicked off YouTube, referred to deplatforming as bit burning. That's interesting. That's a good way to put it. I thought I saw something on the subject of Christmas. Yes, we should have a watch along for Christmas. Are you thinking Lord of the Rings? I could do that. I'm thinking about that. I'm thinking we could do, like, I could put three live streams, one for each of the trilogy, and just do the extended. The thing is, like, do you really want to see me sitting here quietly on camera watching a film and occasionally commenting? I'm not sure how to. Like, is it fun to watch a movie if I'm then talking at parts through it? I don't know. Or would it be better to just watch the film and then come on and have a live stream and just talk about it? I'm open to ideas. Enter your thoughts on the comments. However, I think it's so. I just showed you that horrible trailer, and there's a method to the Captain's madness because I want to show you a great film that I intend to see, and is something of a palate cleanser. And I'm going to be super careful because I'm definitely on the line here with YouTube. They're wanting to block me, folks.
Book. What really struck me was that too few books were about my people. Where are our stories? Where's our representation?
Would you give us the pleasure of reading an excerpt?
Yo, Sharonda, girl, you be pregnant again? If I is, Ray Ray's gonna be a real father this time around.
The woke white lady is the first one that stands up.
Monk, your books are good, but they're not popular. Editors, they want a black book.
They have a black book. I'm black, and it's my book.
You know what I mean.
Look at what they published. Look at what they expect us to write. I just want to rub their noses in it.
All right, let me check, make sure I'm not getting a warning. Okay, cool.
I'd be standing outside in the night.
Deadbeat dads, rappers, crack. You said you wanted black stuff. That's black, right?
I see what you're doing. We sold your book.
No.
We believe Mr. Lee has written a bestseller.
It's a joke. The most lucrative joke you've ever told.
Now it's
So this is a brilliant concept. It's like, so he is sick of what he's pissed about is the only way that I'm going to get like acclaim or approval or any publisher is going to be interested in me is if it's stereotypical black stuff. In other words, what essentially is the stereotype of what the black experience is in America. This is brilliant because listen, I'm telling you right now, I'm just saying, if I were by accident of birth born as a black person, I would be with this guy. This is how I would feel about this stuff. This is exactly how I would feel about it. Who cares? I wrote a book. It's like, this is my book. You know, there it is. It's got to be the black experience. Dude, I would hate it. I would hate it having to live under this tyranny of culture. So I really love this character. I always forget this guy. He's such a great actor. IMDb. Let me grab this real quick. It's so funny too, because when the trailer starts out, I had the same feeling as with the other trailer. Oh, geez, is this another Jeffrey Wright? That's his name. Okay, Jeffrey Wright. He's a great actor to play this part as well. But I love how he winds up getting this bestseller and he wrote it as a joke. And you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of the Bechdel test, because that's what the Bechdel test was. It was basically a feminist joke about, we should make sure we have minimum this many women in it. And they take it literally. They take it literally.
Tag a pseudonym?
Yeah, Mr. Lee can't use his real name.
Is this based on your actual life?
Yeah, you think some bitch-ass college boy can come up with that shit?
No, I don't.
That's so great. She's like, oh no, please don't get mad at me. Dude, this is so funny too, because it's like that other film is saying like the most dangerous animal in the wild is a white person that's unhappy. So, well, dude, literally everyone in our society right now, everyone is walking on eggshells so as not to offend people of color or women or transmissions or literally people are walking on eggshells for LGBT people who, we have come a long way from the days when, a gay kid was chained to a fence and left for dead. And now all of society, but which is a good thing. Believe me, I'm not saying that's not I'm saying, listen, they say that they're oppressed, but literally all of society is walking on eggshells. So it's like, you know what? I'm just going to unlist this straight. I have completely screwed the pooch on this stream, but whatever. It is as it is.
Can I ask what you were in for? Was it murder?
You said that, not me.
They ran 300,000 copies. Your books changed people's lives.
They're offering $4 million for the movie rights.
Yes!
The dumber I behave, the richer I get.
This is an amazing satire and takedown of woke culture.
This has gone too far.
Stag Arley is still on the run from authorities.
You haven't done anything. It's not like they can arrest you.
Wish I could go back to not selling books.
Is it bad to cater to people's tastes?
People want to love you, Monk. You should let them love all of you.
There's already so much buzz because of the movie deal.
Michael B. Jordan is circling.
We want to put him on the cover.
Hang on. Sorry, folks. For those on Rumble who can still see me, I'm getting blocked. I'm trying to fix it. All right. Well, come on, YouTube. Am I back? Let me know if I'm back on YouTube. Dude, seriously. Oh, this is so ridiculous. They want, usually it comes right back. So, all right. Well, we will continue on Rumble until we can get this back. I have run afoul of the YouTube gods. I have jumped the shark. I basically. Uh-oh, that's not good. All right, hang on a second. Oh, I hope I do not have to like totally end. This could be an issue. This could be an issue I have to deal with. All right, hang on a second. Bear with me. Just going to check something out here. Let me just check my back office. Let's see. Just checking the chat. Still not back? Okay, cool. I think I'm back. All right, cool. Jeez. They really punished me for that one. Oh, man. No. Okay. So I think I'm back on YouTube now. There we are. Okay, cool. My apologies, my dear audience. I was on the line. I knew it. I was fucking around and I found out. So there you go. No. So don't freak out. Basically what it is if they just catch that you're playing a trailer and they just start to auto suspend. And I kept checking. I was like, okay, making sure. Okay. The problem is there's a lag. There's a lag in the back office because I'll be watching it and then I'll go look at my back office and I'll see the green light. Everything's good. But there's a lag and then the second I click off, it's like, bam, there it is. You're on a warning. So I just let it run too long. So no more trailers today. We got the good one in anyway, which was Dune 2. So I'm happy. But dude, Wrangler, you stopped my heart for a second there because he's suspended. Oh, jeez. Yeah, I got it. Look, I'm doing my best here. I have not tried to piss off YouTube. I really am not. But you know how it is. We live in the world we live in. So in any case, I think that's a really good comparison, though. Those two films, The American Society of Magical and American Fiction, right? The two examples of films that you can look at as satire, but one I think is in my view, kind of contains a pretty odious message. And the other one, I think, is pretty hilarious. So maybe it just depends on which side that you stand on. But in any case, what should we do next? I know someone who won't block us. How about some Grizzy shills? We could do Grizzy shills. I thought I had something else loaded up too. That's what it said on you. I think it meant the stream was suspended, not like the account. I was thinking the account. Oh no. So no, good news on that. But in any case, yeah, let's share this one. Now, I have no idea. I have no idea why this is the case. I don't know if like the shills have resurfaced or if this is Grizzy kind of just doing a walk down memory lane. But Grizzy he does a video of these shills replying, defending the show Obi-Wan Kenobi. So hat tip Grizzy 1989. The link is in the description. Please give him a like and a follow. He's growing fast, folks, and for good reason. For good reason.
Outlets that seem to be listing all of the mistakes the show made or the inconsistencies that it has brought to A New Hope, and I don't really see it. I don't.
It's okay. Curiosity is just driving me crazy. I have to read the description. Let's see. The Obi-Wan Kenobi series was the first show I ever covered on the channel. At that time, I wasn't doing Shills Defend videos. So since right now we are kind of at a slow time when it comes to content, I thought this would be a great opportunity to go back and cover it. This show is widely considered one of the worst Disney Star Wars projects, mainly due to the damage that it does to the original trilogy and the characters. And also, it's laughable. I would say I agree with that as well. It literally makes scenes from A New Hope not make any sense. But don't worry, says Grizzy. The Disney Star Wars shills are here to explain why the show is great, why Reva is great, and why this show makes the OT better. Truly sad some of these arguments are. This was the show that convinced me that we will never have good Star Wars again. I disagree, Grizzy. One day, we will take it back. Look, Nelson Peltz and Ike Perlmutter have shown us a kind of model that could one day right the ship. Now, it may take a generation or two, but I think that's just my belief. But I understand. But that's just my opinion. And ruined one of the top 3 favorite characters. I would agree with Grizzy here. Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan Kenobi is what made the prequels for me. Like, he absolutely made the prequels. In fact, Revenge of the Sith is in my top, 3, I think, because, my favorite is, I would say my favorite film is Empire Strikes Back, followed by probably Revenge of the Sith, followed by Return of the Jedi. Those are my top 3. And the reason for that is Obi-Wan Kenobi. The reason for that is Ewan McGregor as that character. The scene in which he fights Anakin was so brilliant because of him and his performance in that. That's just a major factor for me. So yes, the fact that they assassinate this character is awful. So as he puts it, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and let me know what you think in the comments. And please do, my dear audience. So without further ado, Grizzy, take it away.
I actually think the show added some fairly significant things to A New Hope and its legacy.
Well, are you retarded? It literally does the opposite, Stuckman. It literally makes scenes from A New Hope not make sense.
General Kenobi, years ago you served my father in the Clone Wars. Now he begs you to help him in his struggle against the Empire.
The line should be,
General Kenobi, years ago you rescued me multiple times from the Empire. Now I need your help again.
just imagine watching this show before watching A New Hope for the first time. This shit would be confusing as hell.
This show does such a good job enriching the experience of the emotional journey of A New Hope.
No. The only thing this
dude, Grizzy's that point is brilliant. It's like it's what's amazing to me, before I play the rest of this, there actually is something I did have that I wanted to share with you, because you know, I have made this point a few times. Hang on, let me find this real quick. Let's see here. Yeah, okay. This is what your dear captain originally had to say after I saw the Marvels. Okay, I have sat through a lot of dreck. I have sat through a lot of garbage. Okay, over the last year, and when I saw the Marvels, it all just came totally clear to me in one moment of amazing epiphany. Literally just stared at this in absolute stupefaction.
Think it's wise taking that bangle to the bad guy?
What the fuck is that? He's sitting there petting a kitty. He's a Nick Fury. Nick Fury, the spy master who assembled the Avengers, played by Samuel L. Jackson, the man whose middle name is motherfucker. Okay, he is now petting a kitty while he delivers exposition to one of the title characters. What is this? There was like 7 things in this movie that were at least that were like that. I was like, I can't, you know, I'm going to tell you something with all due respect to Nia DaCosta and Kevin Feige and the other writers on this movie. Who cares? These are dumb people, folks. These are dumb people. They don't understand space. They don't understand how atmospheres work. They don't understand that they vomit out the most nonsensical. There is still a line in this film where she says, "You can feel light and I can see it." The inmates are running the asylum, folks. That's the only way I can describe it. The inmates are painting the walls with feces. That is what this movie is.
show does a good job at is making scenes like this not make sense.
Can't believe he's gone.
According to this series, Leia knew Obi-Wan better than Luke did. So why is her only reaction to Obi-Wan's death?
There wasn't anything you could have done.
That doesn't make sense.
This is why myself and others say that Disney Star Wars is not Star Wars. Shouldn't she be just as upset or even more upset than Luke is? Oh, wait, I forgot. The Force is female, strong woman, Disney Star Wars. How stupid of me. Disney has shown us multiple times that they are perfectly willing to destroy moments in George Lucas Star Wars to elevate Disney Star Wars. And they don't care. And these people here that defend Disney, they don't care either.
Other than, I understand the argument of like, why is Leia not talking about the fact that she knows Ben in the message? Whatever, I don't care about that. That is so unimportant to me.
Yes, because continuity, canon, things making sense, being respectful to George, none of that shit matters because we got Obi-Wan versus Vader one more time. The rematch of the century, right?
What they've done here is they've made A New Hope richer.
Yeah.
No. Idiots, they did the exact opposite. And let me pose this question to you. How long until Disney has to go back and fix, or dare I say, remake the original trilogy in order to make it make sense with the Disney canon? Because you know that day is coming.
Stay tuned. The day of reckoning will come.
And what a sad day that will be. Moving on. Now, this one genuinely surprised me a little bit, which is hard to do. The fact that these people cite Reva not killing Luke at the very last second after chasing him through the entire Tatooine desert counts as redemption.
Reva redeemed herself, and I'm so incredibly happy for her.
And him being able to give some redemption to her, and her also find redemption in her own way, is good, is great.
And I'm honestly so incredibly happy for her. That outcome was great.
Honestly, Reva is one of the worst written characters in all of Disney Star Wars. She goes from bad to good, back to bad, and then back to good again. Survives 2 lightsaber impalements, one of which happened when...
Oh my god, this is turning into like such a disaster. I can't believe this. I had my microphone muted. I just realized because I muted it when I was... Oh my god. Oh, you don't know how it kills me, chat, that I make such dumb rookie mistakes. I'm as dumb as these shills. I can't believe it. Oh, thanks for letting me know in the Discord there, Redoubt. I appreciate it. Unfortunately, God, this is like one of my worst streams. This is one of the ones where it's like I just want to like take this one down after I'm done. I don't even want it on here. I got blocked. I muted myself. It's just not my finest hour, chat. I hate to say it. I hate to say it. You deserve better. You deserve better from your captain.
She was a child. Classic Disney Star Wars.
And I thought that was a great exploration of how a character can go down a path of revenge and realize that they're becoming the person they hate.
And literally takes screen time away from the character people are tuning in to see, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
That's great writing.
Oh, God.
Maybe I shouldn't have been so surprised that she was going after Luke. I mean,
you know, if I need to get better at reading the chat because you guys you're telling me in the chat. What? Oh, Wrangler, you told me right there. I can't even use the right. What did you say, Redoubt? I can't even use the right "your" tonight. Oh, okay. You mean like grammatically? Oh God, I'm so I just want to pretend the stream never happened. I'm so disappointed in myself. All right, never mind. We'll fix it. We move forward. We march on. We march on. Thank you for letting me know in the Discord because I was like, I should have been looking at the chat. It's my fault. My fault.
she's like injured. She's not in the best mental state as it is, and
the show literally gives no explanation as to why Reva is going after Luke. So this next part is just these people literally pulling shit out of their asses trying to explain it.
You know, violence is what she knows, what she's relied on all this time. So
she obviously has been through a lot and she was acting on pain.
I saw over on the Rumble side, Redoubt. Let's see, what is it? Who's Wrangler said? Redoubt said the worst streams for the creator are the best streams for the chat. Are you saying you'd do better without me? Well, that could be. That tracks. I believe that. I had such a chat. You have no idea that what you were not hearing was so magnificent. It might have been the best things I ever said on the stream. I promise you, it was the most eloquent. It was the most inspired has ever been. Captain Garrett on the Swords and Starships channel. It is a crime. It is a tragedy that you were denied such wisdom. And that's the story I'm going with. That it was true. It was true beauty. It was my finest hour. Then I muted. No, I was just, anyway. But on these shills, on the subject of these shills, God, you didn't even hear my rant either about the dweeb that's basically saying, so in case you missed it, my point with this guy in the early part of the video saying, well, the plot doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense at all. And I don't care about that. Also, it makes the story in A New Hope richer. It's like, well, you can't have it both ways. You can't have that both ways. It's like either you care about the plot in the story or the fact that it doesn't work or you don't care. Or the fact, great. You know what? That's it. I'm unlisting this stream. I'm so... you're watching the fall of an empire live. The collapse. I have Ozymandias. Look at my... weep in what was it? Look upon my works and despair. Anyhow, but this defense of Reva is bizarre, though, folks. Because I'm going to tell you right now... I think that this illustrates the field is wide open for the Iron Age. Like this is your time. If you've got stories to tell, this is your time. Because listen to how they're talking. Oh, it's so wonderful that Reva has a redemption arc. It's like, dude, that's not a redemption arc, you idiot. That's not. She's a monster. She's an evil monster. She goes around murdering people as revenge. Like, our morality in our society and in our culture has become so twisted. It has become so bereft. And I'm telling you right now, it's like, you know, the story of Koichi Shikishima is a story of an actual redemption arc. That is the story of an actual comeback, a man who has got the cloud of cowardice and failure looming over him, who feels powerless in the face of this monster Godzilla, who's going to destroy what little family he's been able to build. And it's such a great story. He's tormented by nightmares, and he has to go on a journey to overcome that. It's just so magnificent. And it's like, they need to watch more movies like that. Godzilla -1 is more like an actual Star Wars story than anything I've seen in Disney Star Wars. Godzilla -1 is it is worthy of Star Wars A New Hope in terms of what a beautiful story it is. I frankly think I might even like it a little better, just to be quite honest. It's just so magnificent. So this is my point, right? The fact that we're at this stage where they have their standards are so low, folks. The field is wide open. Get writing, get creating. If that's something you want to do, like, this is the time.
She was acting on hurt and trauma.
Also, somebody who's not thinking 100% clearly.
No shit, Sherlock.
So remember when I said earlier that Reva takes time away from Obi-Wan Kenobi, whose name is in the title of this show? Now wait till you fucking hear this.
I wanted to mention the Reva's fight because I feel like that was such a strong moment, and it was overshadowed by the insane fight that Kenobi was having with Vader.
So your only problem with Obi-Wan versus Vader is that it takes screen time away from Reva. That is like the radical man-hating feminist take. Please consider.
Oh my God. No. And they want to tell us that we're the toxic fans. Like, they're like, oh, well, there's a very toxic part of the fan base, and they're not real Star Wars fans. You mean those of us that actually want to see Obi-Wan and Luke Skywalker? We're not the real Star Wars fans, but the ones that are like, well, Reva getting stabbed twice and being okay was much more interesting. That was much more interesting than Obi-Wan. Who wants to see Obi-Wan and Darth Vader fight? That's lame. I want to see more Reva. Oh my God. And Disney, you want to know why Star Wars and Marvel and Lucasfilm, just all of it is just burning in flames? You want to know why it's in flames, Disney? Because that's your fan base, you morons. Oh, you're welcome. You can have them.
Consider that like button a middle finger to this bitch and smash the shit out of it for me. And please subscribe if you haven't already.
Yes, Chrissy. Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't get the hate.
You guys were making this out like this is the worst thing I was ever going to watch in my life.
It is. It truly.
Listen. To be fair to you, madam, okay, I imagine your usual fare is like a Hallmark movie about, a down on her luck city girl who is in an uptight marketing department, and she meets a very hometown guy who is all wrong for her, but yet still they seem to be spending a lot of time together. It's like assembling Santa's workshop. And how do I know so much about Hallmark movies? Well, I've studied them for science. Anyway, this is the crowd that's like that probably is just totally fine with Hallmark movies, is going to give us lessons on what is and is not the best Star Wars they've ever seen. Okay.
Really is, in terms of the damage done to the original trilogy.
Look, if you like Hallmark movies and stuff like that, fine. No, nothing against you. Just stay in your lane, okay? Stay in your lane.
And the damage done to these legacy characters, it is one of the worst things Disney Star Wars has ever done.
People are genuinely.
Here's a question. Is Obi-Wan the worst thing Disney Star Wars has ever done? Is it? Because I personally have not seen it, but I watched all of the reviews in great detail. So honestly, I probably know more about it than these shills do. I watched like the Mauler takedown of Obi-Wan, so I know every excruciating detail. A freaking IKEA chair. Hat tip Chris Gore. But is it the worst? Okay, so we've had Ahsoka. We've had 3 seasons of The Mandalorian and Bo-Katan. We've had the last. I mean, okay. I would probably say The Last Jedi is the worst thing they ever made because of the implications of it, the impact. Yeah, I would say that. I think The Last Jedi is the worst thing they ever made. That is the worst. I've already gone through this list now. I think about it. But let's put aside the sequel trilogy for just a second. Let's exclude the sequel trilogy and just say of what's left, what is the worst?
Not allowed to just
Probably Obi-Wan is the worst thing because Mandalorian season 3 was ridiculous. It was a clown show, but it was at least kind of amusing. It was kind of amusing to see just the insanity of the pterodactyl, Yes, Redoubt. Yes, for science, of course. I have family members that enjoy the Hallmark Channel, and I restrain myself. I restrain myself. I'm like, no, don't download on them the captain's opinions on Hallmark movies. Let them enjoy their movie. But then sometimes I just can't help myself, which is why I come here. I come here to YouTube. She blinded me with science. What was that? Someone said something in the chat. Oh yes, there it is. Wrangler says, and that night, the captain waxed ethereal with the most eloquent of speech behind his muted mic. That's exactly what happened, Wrangler. It's exactly what happened. Oh my God, I'm just so... well, live and learn. They say that on your 70th stream, you really hit your stride. They say that's when the show really finds its voice. I will say this. I'm re-uploading all my old streams to the new live channel. And so I watched, just for the heck of it, I watched a couple minutes of that first stream. And I'm like, dude, what a difference 49 episodes makes. Because I watched the first couple minutes. Literally, this is how my first ever stream started. This is how it started. Is this on? I was kind of joking around a little bit, but I was like, is this on? Is this working? Okay. This is an experiment, and hopefully you don't hate it. It's like, I can't wait until future me sees a snippet of this and is like, oh my God, he muted his mic for 5 minutes. What a moron. Oh, that's life for you. All right, back to the video. Back to the Grizzy Shells.
just simply like something anymore that's put out by a large company like Disney.
Here's the thing, Stuckman, and this is what you and the rest of your community fails to understand. There's a big difference between liking something and being a shill. There's a big difference between enjoying the show and selling out for it with fake reactions.
It's the shill O-face, folks.
Now, this is either the fakest reaction of all time or she has the biggest vibrator of all time all up inside her. Let me know what you think in the comments.
I'm going to vote the latter. I definitely think it's the latter. That's the shill O-face, folks. I need to clip this for like thumbnails and stuff. The shill O-face.
Sometimes guys just let people.
Also, that's a great point that he makes, that there's a difference between liking something and say, okay, that was good, I enjoyed it, and like undertaking to just shill for it and to just literally sell out all standards of quality just so that you can promote something. I would argue some of the shills, some of them just want it to be good and they're in denial. That's what I would argue. I would say some of them just want it to be good and they're in denial. This chick is a shill. Like this chick right here. Okay, dear, please, go back to your CW shows, okay? I don't think Star Wars. I'm not gatekeep. She's welcome to watch it. I'm just saying I smell some shite. I smell shite.
Will watch things and decide for themselves and enjoy it.
No! I just hate that I can't sit in front of this camera and be like, these past 6 episodes made me happy and I enjoyed watching them without having to defend myself constantly.
Well, Stuckman, allow me to officially welcome you to the internet, you fucking pussy.
Oh, emotional damage. Catastrophic impact. That was great. Bravo, Grizzy.
Come on. You've got a ways to go.
I needed that.
Oh my god, what the hell?
I needed that.
What is that?
If you know me, you know that Qui-Gon is one of my favorite characters.
I literally, that was the most incredible.
Oh, I missed it. This is the chick that got mad and tried to like get his channel taken down. I can't. Oh my god, this is like Death by Rainbow. Oh jeez, what is? Oh my god. Oh, the damage the LGBT movement has done to just like normal, like gay and lesbian people who just want to like live their lives, just not have to live in hiding in their life. That's all. No, that's all they want. I have a job, a life. Leave me the hell alone. The damage these people have done is unreal.
Episode of any TV show that I've ever witnessed.
All of that over a cameo. All of that over key jingling. And they do this in every single one of these Disney Plus Star Wars shows. Boba Fett, The Mandalorian Season 2.
Do you remember Boba Fett?
Yes!
I do remember Boba Fett.
Luke Skywalker, The Mandalorian Season 2. Luke Skywalker, Book of Boba Fett. Ahsoka, Book of Boba Fett.
Dude, that's basically like Red Letter Me. That's exactly the same that Anakin is in it. Dude, I'm gonna tell you something. That was the thing that irritated me the most about Ahsoka. It's like I'm sitting here trying to discuss. I'm literally frustrated with this show. I'm like, why is this entire show this? Basically, what you're seeing on the screen. Her arms are crossed. She has a plank of wood expression. She says nothing in like 30 lines of dialogue. It is the most excruciating thing to watch. Nothing is happening. Why is any of this? And meanwhile, I have to, well, if you haven't watched the Clone Wars and you don't love Anakin like I do, then you don't understand. And it's like, I do like Anakin. I did watch the Clone Wars. I'm not talking about that. Like, but Anakin was in it.
Cad Bane, Book of Boba Fett. Zeb, Mando Season 3. Anakin Skywalker, Ahsoka. C-3PO,
Anakin.
Ahsoka. And these people lose their fucking minds over even the most subtle of references.
Hello there.
He said the thing. He said, "Oh my god, there's so many references in this fucking episode. I can't, my heart, I can't handle it."
And I say this all the fucking time, and it's worth reiterating. This is who Disney is making Star Wars for. So remember in the finale when Obi-Wan sliced Vader's mask? Now, this might be disturbing to some of you, so viewer discretion is advised.
But here's another reason, like another proof that I love the broken mask so much.
Oh, no way.
I'm blinded by what?
Oh my God. What is... You can't be serious. Wait, hang on. I gotta...
Of the broken mask so much.
Oh my God. That is a lot of ink. Oh my God. Well, listen, I don't think you could call her a liar. Like, she clearly does love the show a hell of a lot. Wow. Okay, my official opinion of this babe is that she is not a lying shill. She is a shill, but she's a sincere shill. So I will grant her that. Hey, unless, unless that's like a fake tattoo, which I wouldn't put it past, but I'm willing to extend the benefit of the doubt. That is a really big tattoo. What are you doing? Really? Like, okay, let's unpack this a little. Okay. Granted, this is a real tattoo. Granted, it's a very large tattoo, like a very large tattoo. Like it's at least most of the thigh. It's, it's most of the thigh. Like it's a lot of ink, okay? I can't get over this. But okay. So, but of all the moments you could choose, really? Like okay, not like what would even be better? I don't know, but like Anakin and Obi-Wan crossing blades, like I just really like not I mean, I guess I can't think of a better one. I don't know. If I were going to get a giant Star Wars tattoo that took up most of my thigh, what would I choose? Well, that's a difficult question to answer, my dear sailors and Starnauts. I won't lie to you.
I'm blinded by white.
And by the way, you should really hit the gym and do some goddamn squats.
Put her having some good old-fashioned pancake butter. Now that's what Mom used to make. Nice and flat.
Like, dude, I love how he's in whiteface, and it's like, I don't care. Be in whiteface. It's hilarious.
Not so nice, but definitely flat.
For me, their confrontation in this episode, in the finale, I think it's one of my favorite Star Wars things ever.
That's a great send-off for Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi.
It's the three soys. It's the three soy boys. Soy number 1, soy number 2, soy number 3.
Jesus fucking Christ, dude. First of all, no. And second, I fully expect to see him in another show somewhere down the line.
Yeah. But give me some more Reva.
Clearly, these people love Star Wars. They know Star Wars inside and out, and it really shows. It showed through in every single episode, in my opinion.
You are delusional. You're in denial. You are a fake fan, and you are a shill. And again, this is who Disney is making Star Wars for, and this is why we will never have great Star Wars ever again. Thanks for watching. Make sure.
Grizzy, that was quite frankly magnificent. 3 cheers for Grizzy. Grizzy 1989, brilliant, my dude. I gotta say, so he's in a bit of a content desert, so he's going back and picking up Obi-Wan. But you know what's so interesting about that? It's like, I'll tell you something. I think there is a flat out like pass fail litmus test for whether you're just a full of crap shill or just a blue pill who just wants Star Wars to be good. You just want to believe it's good. So like Mandalorian is fun, fine. He Vadered, whatever. I would say the absolute definitive test is if you are just begging for Reva. Like if you just need you some Reva in your life, you are full of shit. Nobody likes that character. You cannot convince me that anyone likes that character. Nothing in the world to do with her skin color. She is a nothing character. She's an awful character. She's boring. She's annoying. She's usurping the role of the legacy characters. Listen, villains are, in my view, I'm a villain guy. I love the villains. Darth Maul, awesome. Darth Vader, awesome. The Borg Queen, Khan, awesome. Okay. I am a villain connoisseur. Okay. And the villain is crucial to making the hero's journey work. The villain, by the way, Godzilla versus Shikishima, awesome. Awesome hero villain battle in that movie. Oh, so gives me chills just thinking about that final act of the film. If you screw up the villain, you have screwed up the whole thing. Like you have screwed up the whole thing. Perfect example, Admiral Thrawn. Admiral Thrawn was kind of one. Well, I would also argue Ray Stevenson's character Balin looked really interesting and he looked really cool. They did nothing with Balin, but Admiral Thrawn seemed kind of interesting to me. An intellectual chess player villain. You know, he's like the opposite of the Force user villain. So I thought that could be super cool, super interesting. What do? They turn him into an incompetent boob who thinks he's winning when he's losing. It ruins any tension, any stakes, and it makes the heroes look that much more idiotic that they can't beat this guy. So, so yeah, you cannot convince me that if you think Riva is a good character, no, you're full of crap. I think you're full of crap. All right, what do we got in the chat? Hopefully the captain hasn't been muted again. I don't know how to set it up so I can hear myself. I wouldn't want to hear myself actually in my ears, because then I would get the echo and it just messes. It breaks the captain's brain. It's captain can't handle that much more. Just checking in. Did the captain talk about the meme of Civil War and ISS yet? I did not. Actually, you know what? I am done playing trailers. I am so done. Look, the YouTube beat the life out of me on that one. I'm not touching another trailer this stream. But I did play the ISS trailer, and I'm super intrigued by the ISS trailer. And I was saying, like, that's a really cool concept. And at first, I seriously thought it was going to be an Orange Man bad kind of movie, because it starts out with, oh, we Americans and Russians, we've always worked together. And I'm like, is this about how, like, that was bad and we should hate Russians and yay Ukraine? Like, I literally thought that's where that movie was going. And then you see nuclear bombs going off, and I'm okay. Now I'm into it. I'm interested. This is actually a pretty cool idea. So now the other thing, now this is what I will say about Civil War. Like, I watched that trailer, and it's total garbage. It is absolute garbage, because number one, journalists are the heroes, and current media journalists are the enemies of the people. They are our enemies. They are in a coordinated, colluding effort to deceive and censor us and our opinions. They are our enemies. Okay, no matter what side of the political aisle you are on, they're our enemies. So that is bullshit right there. So I cannot stand the fact that, like, journalists think they're like the rock stars in this movie. Second thing, though, is obviously it's so boring. It's so typical. This is the view that Hollywood had of what a Civil War would look like 20 years ago. They're practically making it exactly what it would have been if they made this movie 20 years. Bush Republicans are like the enemy of the people. That's basically what it is. It's so dumb. Anyway, all that being said, the filmmaking looks pretty interesting. And I have to say, I would be interested in seeing a real gritty presentation of a Civil War in America. I think that would be interesting as a movie. I think that would be really good if you did it right. So, but that would require nuance. That would require complexity and balance. It would require a story in which both sides are arguing. Two sides are arguing and both are right. That's basically what it would have to be. There would have to be, and also the geopolitical situation they present in that film is nonsensical. They show California and Texas are in an alliance to rebel against the government. That makes no sense. And it sounds to me like they're trying to do essentially a bad version of what Top Gun Maverick did, which is to not identify who the enemy is. That's what they're trying to do, I think. They're trying to say, well, if Texas and California are together, this isn't about Republicans or Democrats. It's like, nice try. You know, but the first time you see the guy with the sunglasses, you know, I just accidentally hit the space bar, muted myself again. What is going on? You get the which kind of American are you? Which kind of American are you? Okay, I know where this is going. Okay, so there you go. So let me know where's the meme. I gotta tell me what the meme is, and I will find it. Fair play to you, mate. I like that, Redoubt. Thank you. The soy boys. Yes, Grizzy had the soy boys on there. And, you know, to your point, Redoubt, genuinely, I think there are more people out there that are in simple denial than we give credit to. Yeah, I know a guy that was totally digging Mandalorian season 3. And, you know, I'm a fan of Mandalorian. I mean, in retrospect, I'm really not. I'm really not anymore. But when it came out, I was a big fan of Mandalorian season 1, and I liked Mandalorian season 2. I misread it as a course correction. I misread it as they're going back to the Star Wars roots, which to me, the roots of Star Wars was, roughly a space Western, which I thought was a kind of interesting. And also, it was meant to be kind of a not as significant story. This is not the grand battle against the Empire. This is a wandering bounty hunter kind of going from town to town. Like, I thought that's a cool idea. Right. And also, I think right about the time season 3 came out, I was convinced that Mandalorian was the one show that was safe, right? The one show that was safe from this woke dumpster fire madness that has consumed the rest of Disney. Because I thought they have this is a lot's happened this year. Okay. A lot has happened. This is before Disney had like 12 failures, massive failures, right? So this is before that. And I'm thinking they can't afford to screw this up. They've had a couple misses in 2022. Like, they know that Mandalorian is their one card to play, and they're not going to mess with it. Like, only the pros are going to be handling that one. Folks, I could not believe how bad season 3 was. I couldn't believe it. And so I'm talking to this friend of mine, and I'm like, and he likes it. I'm like, you do? Really? Why are they on that beach? Like, why are there giant crocodiles attacking them multiple times a day and they don't move? What is this? Like, so I get it. I'm kind of with you on that. I don't understand, though. I don't understand. My only theory is, if you have not woken up to how awful this is, like, my only theory is you just don't know what good is. And I don't mean that as a dig. I mean, there are like Gen Z young people who have grown up with slop. They have grown up with garbage, and they don't actually remember, like 80s movies. Folks, 80s movies were amazing. Like, 80s era science fiction was incredible. That's where we got, that's where we got Empire Strikes Back. That's where we got Return of the Jedi. That's where we got Aliens. That's where we got Terminator and Terminator 2 was early 90s, but like, that's where we got Back to the Future. I mean, we got some incredible science fiction in the 80s and some pretty good stuff in the 90s as well. And I'm telling you, there's a whole young crowd out there who think that this is what Star Wars is now. They think it's nothing happening. They think it's just member berries and, oh, he evaded. I feel bad for him, frankly. But yeah, how can you be on board with Reva? That one I'll never get. She's not a successful villain, nor is she an anti-hero. She fails all of her universe tasks. Exactly. She's not intimidating. She's not an intimidating villain. She's not an interesting villain. She's not a sympathetic anti-hero. It's nonsensical. And then Redoubt says, but Captain, what type of American are you? I'll tell you what, I am a pro-American American. That's what I am. I'm a pro-American American. We represent roughly, I would say, probably on a good day, we represent about 40% of the American population. You could argue something like 51%. We're a dying breed, let me tell you. I'm being a little facetious there, but I would say I am an Americanist, which is screw Republicans, screw Democrats. I am an Americanist. That means I believe in the founding principles of the United States of America, which is basically everything on that list is what the wokies oppose. That's what all those things that are on that list of amendments, those are the things that Cancel Pigs opposed. So now oppose. So I oppose the Cancel Pigs. Redoubt Production says mainstream storytellers, quote, what if there was a civil war in America? No, it would. What is it? That it's like the Yellow Flash and a quarter. Me looks at personal library with books of the American Civil War. I know exactly. It's amazing how wokies totally misunderstand the very historical events they often cite to support their causes. Like, to them, it's like, oh, punch a Yahtzee. It's like, but you don't even understand that many of your behaviors align perfectly with the desires and the methods of the National Socialist Party. It's like, And then it's like the Civil War to them, it's so reductive. They just think it's about slavery. And it's like it was about a lot more than that, but they can't. They're just they have a very low resolution view, and they are actively working to dismantle and lie about all of history, especially in their entertainment. I mentioned this last week. Doctor Who race swapped Isaac Newton, and they basically said, well, it doesn't matter. We're imagining history as we wish it was. What's bizarre about that is that it used to be the left wing that was the most anti lying about history. At least they claim to be. They were the most like serious about this. Like they came up with the term whitewashing history. So here they are changing history and lying about it. And what I think is so insidious about this is they're basically saying that accurate representations of history do not matter, and they are not interested in seeing an accurate picture of history. I can't even. So in other words, their project, the woke project, is to literally misrepresent history in narrative storytelling. And when I think about that, I think, well, that can only be a malevolent undertaking. Like that's malevolence to me. That is something, there is something seriously wrong with people that think that way. There is something seriously fucked in their mental thought processes. And they're up to something that is not good. If they are literally thinking that portraying history as it would have really been and really looked is the opposite of their goal. So and by the way, if you're going to misrepresent and lie about history, why should we trust you ever when you tell us about the history of racism? Why should we ever trust you? Why should we believe a single thing you say? Also, even if what you say is to be believed, why should we care? Let's just imagine the history where Rosa Parks was at the front of the bus and never had to raise a fuss. Why don't we just do that? Why do we ever need to have a story about Rosa Parks on the bus standing up for herself? We don't need that anymore, do we? We can just imagine history how it's meant to be. This is evil. This is an evil way of thinking about things. But the funny thing is, they never want to actually take those ideas to their logical conclusion. They don't have principles, the cancel pigs. They don't actually live by any principles, because the minute that an idea they put forward becomes inconvenient, they immediately contradict it, and they don't care. They're like, well, yes, yeah, okay, yeah, I get it. It doesn't work in that case, but who cares? Okay. Well, you guys, we're not going with your plan, okay? I gotta fix my cord here. All right. Redoubt Production says, I know, 19th century, 21st century, very different eras, but the rejection of lessons from the past sets us up to repeat them. Exactly. Wrangler says, I gotta get going. Thank you, Captain, for another voyage. Well, you're too kind, Wrangler. This has been a bit of a shit show, but thank you for being here. Captain, salute to you, Wrangler, Redoubt, Tom, Fu Man Blue, Star Fury, if you're out there somewhere, every Old Man Nixon, Melodic Method, everyone in the chat. Thank you so much. I must beg your indulgence. I promise you the next Captain's Cast will be better. This is not up to my normal standards of the service. So next voyage will be up to specifications, and it will be our Christmas Eve voyage. So I'll figure something out. We got to do something special. And listen, if you can't make it, I understand. It is Christmas Eve. I thought about like doing a Saturday, like Christmas Eve, but I'm like, if it were Christmas Day, I probably wouldn't do it, because it's like, I don't want to like compete for people's attention with their family, but Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve, I'll hang out. If someone's like, hey, I need something to do, I'll be here. Thanks, Redoubt Productions. I appreciate it. You guys are great. If I'd been watching the damn chat, I would have seen I was muted. So stupid. What else? Did I miss anything in the Rumble chat? Redoubt says, this is how channels build their lore. The creator does not produce the lore shapes the creator. I agree with you. I think it's a magnificent, by the way, this is something that like woke storytellers, I think, miss. This is one of the reasons why propaganda storytelling, I think, is so poorly received. The minute that you sense that in a way, it's the storytelling equivalent of being a control freak. Now, obviously, if you're the creator or something, you are kind of a control freak because you've got to control the plot and everything. But honestly, you're never, if you're doing storytelling right, in my view, you are never fully in control of your characters. You just never are. In my view, I never feel 100% control, or I never feel 100% in control of my characters, because sometimes that's how you get written into a corner, because sometimes you'll set up a situation and you'll suddenly realize this character would never do this, or in this situation, the character would definitely do this, and the whole plot would fall apart, because if they do that, that's the end of the story, right? So you wind up having to you wind up having to figure out how the character can arrive in this scenario in the right way so that the plot will work. That means your characters are driving the story, and that's what you want. And really, content creation is no different. Like, it's organic. Jerry Bruckheimer has that great quote, which I'm very fond of: "The audience is always the genius in the room." This is the thing that Russell T Davies, and Nia DaCosta and Kevin Feige and Kathleen Kennedy and Bob Iger and all these morons that are running these Taika Waititi, these just dumb people they miss that. They don't understand that that's one of the most important parts of creation. It's a participatory process. You never create anything in a vacuum. I don't care if you're a novelist on your own, writing by yourself. You are participating in a dance of creation that is larger than you. It is part of the cosmos itself. You are tapping into a collective consciousness, and I'm probably getting super zen on you, but I'm just saying, like, this is what I genuinely believe. And that is itself a collaborative process, right? It is a very arrogant creative who doesn't understand this, in my view. And if they don't, now they may make good stuff, and I'm not denying that, but sooner or later, they're headed for a fall. They're headed for a fall. And truthfully, we probably all are headed for a fall just by dint of being humans. So there is that. But all right. We're pretty much close to wrapping it up. The captain's gonna just slink out of here. I gotta go. I just muted my stream. I got blocked. I'm just not my best effort. But we move on. Hey, it builds lore. Like I probably built a lot of great lore. I've got all kinds of weird shit on this stream for lore. What else did I have? I had some other stuff in the stack of stuff. We got Grizzy. I think we pretty much covered it, folks. We pretty much covered all the things. We've got Rebel Moon is coming out next week, and I am going to review that for absolute sure. And by the way, I am totally impartial on Rebel Moon. I am totally impartial. Maybe Rotten Tomatoes is wrong and it's going to be awesome. Maybe the critics got it right for a change and it's going to be awful. I don't know. This is my sense. This is my kind of feeling. I get the feeling it's probably going to be something like a 6 or 7 out of 10. That is my guess. That is my educated guess. I think it's going to be kind of a middling sort of effort. So we'll check it out, though. But hey, I would like this to be good because I would like new things to succeed. I would, nothing made me happier than, seeing Godzilla and being blown away by this movie, and without any expectation, by the way, because I hear about this movie, Godzilla -1. The trailers were okay. The trailers were nothing super awesome. They did show that shot of Shikishima screaming at Godzilla. And I do remember that was one of the things in the trailer that sold me on it. I'm like, okay, there is some real emotion in this movie. I'm excited about that. And it turns out that's one of the great scenes of the film. It's just amazing. But this movie came from nowhere. I wasn't looking for it. I was thinking, oh, okay, well, let's see how this goes. It blew me away. It just blew my hair back. This movie was so awesome. Now, that's what I want. That's what I want. And that's what I hope for with Rebel Moon, but I don't get the feeling that's going to happen. So we'll see. We will see. Let's see. One more short little story to close it out. Would you like some more good news, folks? Because one more, and then we'll close it out. We'll bid adieu, Albedazane. Hat tip, bounding into comics. Here we go. Marvel shuffles the upcoming film slate yet again. Deadpool 3, Captain America, Brave New World, and Blade and Thunderbolts all delayed. Folks, never let these people convince you that they are not on the ropes. They are on the ropes. They are in deep shit. Like, Disney is in deep shit. I wish I could have found this. I literally had it in my notes to find it. I don't know what I did with it. I was watching a stream. Somebody had basically literally had a spreadsheet. It was probably on Midnight's Edge, but like they had a spreadsheet listing all of the failures of Disney this year. It's staggering. They've lost at least $1.3 billion. Probably a lot more. They've lost $1.3 billion in the box office this year. So they Bob Iger gets out there and he puts a brave face on it. We have inflicted major defeats. And when I say we, I mean we, the fellowship, we, the fans, we who are making our voices heard. We have, listen, word of mouth, folks, 6 degrees of separation. I'm telling you right now, one person in the course of their lifetime on average will influence 10,000 people. That's average over the course of their lifespan. That means that one person, for each of those 10,000 will also influence on average 10,000 other people. That's 2 degrees of separation from 10,000 times 10,000. Hey Siri, what's 10,000 times 10,000? I'm that bad at math.
10,000 times 10,000 is 100 million.
Thank you, Siri. 100 million. 100. That's how bad at math I am. It's so pathetic. Look, I'm a words guy. I'm a language guy. I'm not a numbers guy. 100 million people you are 2 degrees of separation from in your lifetime. Think about that. That's a third of the a fourth of the population of the United States. So 12,000, well, really it's like 20,000 now watching Friday Night Tights every week. 20,000 people a week watching Friday Night Tights. Now, every one of those 20,000 is talking to probably 3 to 10 other people in their lives, right? So that's like 10 times 20,000. That's an impact of at least, I would argue, 200,000 people, right? That 200,000 people maybe passes on 1 or 2 nuggets to 1 or 2 other people. Folks, we are having an impact. We are having an impact on the culture because the normies are waking up and they're starting to realize that these film creators are not trustworthy. I would argue one of the major reasons why the box office in general has been so bad lately is because it used to be that you would go to a theater, see a bad movie, and you'd be like, oh, that one kind of sucked. Hopefully the next one's good. That second step of hopefully the next one's good, that's gone away because now it's like, damn, this one has sucked. God, that one sucked too. Man, the last 3 of these sucked. The movies are expensive. Let's not even go. That's what is setting in. Now, people are waiting to be proven that something is going to be good before. I know I'm that way. I used to really take a lot more chances. I mean, obviously, it's not like I'm trying to cross a minefield or anything, but I'm just saying that just as a customer, I would sort of go out on a limb for a movie that looked like it might be so-so. I don't do that anymore. I do not do that anymore. If I don't hear some reason that this movie is worth my time, fuck off. Like, I don't want to, I am not allowing these studios. Honestly, I've seen more movies this year because of this channel. I probably would have seen a handful of movies this whole year if it weren't for this channel. And that is writ large in the society. So when I say we have inflicted defeat, I mean we, the fans, we, the normies, we, the customer, we have inflicted defeat after defeat after defeat. And you want to see what the next defeat is going to be? In yet another blow to the franchise's already shaky future, Disney has announced that they will once again be undertaking a delay of their upcoming Marvel releases, this time pushing their entire in-production lineup of Deadpool 3, Captain America, Brave New World, Blade, and Thunderbolts back from their slated release dates. According to Disney's updated schedule, where once he and Hugh Jackman's version of Wolverine were set to make their MCU debut on May 3rd, 2024, they will now hit the big screen on July 26th or later. So they're pushing Deadpool back. That's probably the one hit that they're going to have, actually. Notably, prior to this latest shakeup, the highly coveted summer release date was reserved for Captain America Brave New World. Think about this, folks. Am I reading this correctly? Prior to this, the highly coveted summer release date was reserved for, okay, that was going to be next year. Got it. Okay, so next year, the summer big blockbusters time slot was reserved for Captain America, Captain Falcon America. However, thanks to this update, the all-new, all-different Captain America will now make his play on February 14th, 2025. So they moved him out of the summer plot, or the summer spot, and they're putting him on 2020. Why are we watching She-Hulk twerking? No. So they moved it to 2025. And also, I don't know if this article covers it, but they are reshooting basically this whole film, because that's it. They're basically doing 6 months of reshooting for Captain Falcon America. Seeing if they have it in this article. But in any case, that's how bad it is, folks. It's a bloodbath. This box office year has been a bloodbath for Hollywood and especially for Disney. They have paid dearly. They have paid dearly for our franchise's deaths, and they have more, that there is more pain on the way. Bob Iger, Kevin Feige, Kathleen, you think this is over? This isn't over. This isn't over by a damn sight. Go ahead, reshoot them all you want. It won't make a difference because your lunatic, wacko employees are still there and they will continue to be there. Like there's no chance. Nothing is going to get better. You, if anything, people are going to care less about Disney in 2024 than they ever have. Honest to God, do you even think Falcon's coming out? Falcon, Captain America. 2025, folks. In movie box office timelines, that is a long time. That is an ice age. Like that, honestly, I would be kind of amazed if the MCU were even still much of a thing by 2025. I don't even know if it's going to last that long. The MCU is such a joke. The Marvels, I mean, it might be one of the most spectacular endings. Like that is a epilogue. That is an epilogue to the story of the MCU that is just, you couldn't tell a better story. It is a catastrophic defeat, the Marvels. One of the worst, I think it is the worst MCU box office ever. Maybe one of the worst Disney box offices ever. Okay. It's just the beginning. It's just the beginning. They're going to come out with Echo. They're going to come out with all this garbage. Agatha. It's garbage. Garbage. They're going to reshoot it. And even if they elevate that garbage to less stinky garbage, they've just spent another $100 million, another $200 million just to polish a turd. That's all they're doing. And you know what my evidence for this is? My evidence for this is the Marvels Exhibit A, because I don't think there is any Disney or MCU movie, period, that went through more rewrites, more test screenings, more reshoots, more delays than the Marvels. With all that time, all that editing, all that executive oversight that Bob Iger is so proud of, all of it. What did they produce? Shit in a blender. Just a mess. That movie is an absolute mess. It is an hour and a half of nothing worth your time. Folks, these are dumb people. These are such dumb people. They don't learn lessons. They don't understand what they did wrong. They don't, and frankly, they don't much care. Like, they just don't even care. We care about these stories. We are the fans. We are the story lovers. We are passionate. They are not. They are not passionate about this stuff. They don't care about it. They're like, okay. They're rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic, and we will be there front and center to watch this ship sink. So take heart, my dear sailors and starnauts. You are winning. We are winning. Hail the Iron Age. Hail the Fellowship. Hail you, the crew, the brilliant men and women of the Swords and Starships channel. I salute you and I thank you. And so that's, I think, where we're going to leave it tonight. We've had good good times, good fun, and some mishaps, some technical difficulties that shall be stricken from the record and never mentioned again. As Janeway once said to Chakotay on Star Trek Voyager, let's leave this one out of the logs this time. Okay? Deal? Okay, cool. Tom says, take care, all. Take care, Tom. Good to see you. Happy Sunday. All right, everybody. Well, I wish you a great week, an amazing time. Have fun out there. Go out there, create. This is your time. This is your time to create. They're on the ropes. They're losing. They're irrelevant. Hollywood is irrelevant. Nobody cares. Godzilla -1, $60 million, and it's adding theaters. It's a less than $15 million budget. That is staggering. That's like a 4 or 5 times return on your money. So, Captain salute to Toho Studios, director Takashi Yamazaki, the best film of the year, Godzilla -1. This has been the Captain's Cast on the Swords and Starships channel with your host, Captain Garrett, live on YouTube, Rumble, and X, formerly Twitter. Please like, subscribe, tell your friends about the stream, and have a great week. And until next time, this is Captain Garrett saying, definitely not stalling for time at all. This is Captain Garrett saying, I will see you out there.